To the stupid question this morning, what is the name of the Pringles mascot, that dude? 215-263-WMMR. We will go to Jules. Hey, Jules, good morning.
Hi, sorry to bother you guys at work.
Oh, that's all right, Jules.
Big brain on bread.
No, it's Jules.
That's Jules.
Oh, you're right. His name is Jules in the movie.
Check out the big brain on bread.
All right, Jules, what is the name of the Pringles mascot, please?
His name is Julius Pringle.
Julius Pringle.
Yep.
I didn't know that. Hang on, Jules. You got yourself a pair of tickets to see Michelle Wolf, who's going to be performing It's the Great to Be Here tour Thursday, October 19th at the Fillmore in Philadelphia. Tickets are on sale now, WMMR.com for complete details. All right, a lot of stuff to unpack here. Robert De Niro has 6 children with 3 different partners and 4 grandchildren. His oldest is Drina, whom he adopted when he married her mother, Diane Abbott, in 1976.
You sick son of a bitch.
And together they welcomed their son, Raphael, in November 1976. After divorcing Abbott, he had twin boys, Julian and Aaron, in 1995 with his then girlfriend, Tukey Smith, whom he split with in 1996. Tukey. The actor then married Grace Hightower the following year, and they share their son, Elliot, and their daughter, Helen. And Robert is not much for fanfare, but while he was discussing his new movie about my father with E.T. Canada, the interviewer mentioned
You having a good day, eh?
the 79-year-old was a father of 6. He asserted 7. Actually, I just had a baby.
What the hell are you doing?
He's 79.
79.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. So, he gets very combative with the press when he's out and about. And so there's a picture of him, Preston, running out of his, I guess, the brownstone or whatever, with the classic newspaper up to the side of the face and darting into his limo.
Yeah?
Yeah, I guess, listen, it slipped. I don't know if he wants to address it. He's kind of private.
Who's Charlie? Where is he?
Oh,
Is this Charlie?
that'd be great if his name was Charlie.
Charlie,
If
yeah,
his name
yeah.
was Charlie. So he said he shared that he doesn't like being stern with his children, but sometimes finds that he has no choice, adding, "You always want to do the right thing by your children and give them the benefit of the doubt, but sometimes you can't." Now that his second youngest is 11, De Niro stated, "Helen, she gives me some grief sometimes, and I argue with her. I adore her, but, and my youngest now, that will be more to come, but that's what it is." So I don't know how old the 7th child is, when they had the baby, any of that stuff. By the way, he didn't name the mother of his newborn. He has been linked to a woman named Tiffany Chen since 2021. The two were seen holding hands and sharing a kiss in the south of France. They met on the set of the movie The Intern in 2015,
You're in love with her?
where the martial artist played a Tai Chi instructor. And I know that movie well. That's at the very, very end of the movie. The couple was most recently seen in April, leaving a restaurant in Los Angeles as it looked as if Chen had a baby bump. And it looks like congratulations are in order for De Niro and the new mother of his child.
79.
Yeah.
79.
Yeah.
And just had a kid. The
baby.
I think the oldest I remember of any celebrity, was it Tony Randall? I think Tony Randall. Yeah, right?
I think you're right.
Was in his 80s?
Same way.
Yeah.
That's just...
Man.
They're not doing anything at that point.
They're just humping.
That's all. No, I mean, that's all on the mom. You know what I mean? They're
As
not,
being a parent?
Yeah.
Well, when you have to change diapers for both of them, it's a little bit of a problem.
well, and at
Yeah,
80,
very
you're
well.
not running around the park with your kids.
I want you
Right.
to change my diaper.
Right. Yeah. So interesting. Wow. Jonathan Majors made a court appearance via Zoom on Tuesday in his ongoing domestic violence case. The judge discussed a motion filed by the Creed 3 actors' defense team, stating that the prosecution has until May 23rd to respond. The defense will have until May 31st to respond back. Major's lawyer, Priya Chaudhry, issued a statement following a brief session in which she called the trial a witch hunt, referring to Majors as a black man weighing 200 pounds. She claimed the case is affected by racial bias that permeates the criminal justice system. His next court date is scheduled for June 13th. The judge told the actor that if he does not appear in person, a warrant for his arrest could be issued within 48 hours.
There are rumors that the villain in the Guardians movie, the High Evolutionary, the actor who's playing that actor, might be asked to play Kang.
Okay.
All right, so Steve, I've seen a whole bunch of clickbait headlines saying that Marvel has made a decision about Kang, but
I
they
haven't
haven't,
seen
right?
it. No, I
Okay,
haven't.
all right.
I think they're trying to see what goes on with this.
With the trial?
Yeah, you know what? It's sometimes they've reacted very quickly in the past, and I think they've learned also that let it breathe a little bit, see what comes out.
I mean, they fired James Gunn a few years ago,
and
then,
now he's back.
Then they brought him back.
And now he's with DC.
Yeah.
More MCU stuff. In a recent interview with Variety, Scarlett Johansson said that she and Chris Evans visited Jeremy Renner following his tragic snowplow accident on New Year's Day. She said, I was honestly so effing happy to see him. I didn't know if I was ever going to see him again. To not see him again, but to see him thriving and in such an amazing space, to not only see him again,
That's great.
see him thriving in such an amazing space mentally. Evans added that there were no tears at all. A lot of laughs and smiles and hugs. Leave it to Jeremy to take something this potentially tragic and turn it into something so inspiring.
What's his sister's name? Is it Jeremy? What do we say?
Jennifer.
Jennifer,
yes.
Yes, did that. That was my flub yesterday. None so far today. Tom Hanks spoke with the BBC in an interview published on Monday about his debut novel called The Making of Another Major Motion Picture Masterpiece. The book centers on the production of a big superhero movie, and one of the main characters is an egotistical actor who makes things difficult on the set. And Hanks said, I have pulled every single one of those moments of behavior myself on a set. He said, not everybody is at their best every single day. On a motion picture set, I've had tough days trying to be a professional when my life has been falling apart in more ways than one. And the requirement for me that day is to be funny, charming, and loving, and it is the last way that I feel.
You find it hard to believe. I'm sure he's right. I'm sure he's had moments where he's been, combative or whatever, but he just doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would do that.
Yeah.
The angriest I've ever seen him is when paparazzi were ganging up on him and knocked his Rita.
Knocked Rita.
Lovely wife Rita makes a hell of a couscous, but he flipped out.
He snapped at him. He was like, what the hell are you doing?
Right.
You know, I mean, he's like really went at him. He was just, protecting his wife.
But
obviously.
even that wasn't even that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah. I don't think one person was like, wow, man, he really
Reed,
lost
you would
his
have Falcon
crap.
punched him.
I would have beat the ass out of that little prick.
Yeah.
I will say,
Shove
though,
the camera right up your ass.
I did start watching Man Called Otto. I cannot get into it.
No.
That's a shame. I loved it.
No.
Preston says he likes it.
I know,
like
but I got to the part where they're starting to
You'd like Natalie Imbruglia.
right, but I'm trying to get. I got to the part where they're giving you a little bit more of his backstory to kind of make you understand why he is the way he is.
Okay.
I just cannot stand people that are like that.
Angry
just-
people?
Curmudgeon?
Angry people that are just looking for something to be pissed off.
What if
at.
they have an
Yeah.
epiphany and there's a turnaround?
And
you have
that's
to
what's happening. That's what's happening. The neighbors just came in and
So have you figured out why he's so angry?
yeah.
You know?
Don't say anything.
Well, no,
Don't. We haven't seen it.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to say anything.
Okay. I just
Does
didn't
it
know how
have to
far.
do with Natalie Imbruglia?
It does not. I didn't know how far into the movie you made it.
Yeah, it's pretty deep in before you really find out
well,
what really pushed him over the edge.
Okay, because
it's almost near the end.
Did you like the movie El Camino?
Yeah.
Not El Camino, the Clint Eastwood one. What was that called?
no. It's
L. Ron
the-
Hubbard.
L.
No,
Ron Hubbard.
it's the car. It's a Gran
Torino.
Torino.
Gran Torino.
El Torino.
So he starts off as this
Yeah.
guy who's got his admitted big character flaws.
Yeah.
Did you like that? Because he has a change of heart and an epiphany.
Yeah, well, I was distracted by the bad acting in that movie more so than anything else. So, no, I didn't care for it.
Well, anyhow, Casey doesn't like those kind of movies. Listen, I have another Tom Hanks thing. He had talked about the. All right. He spoke with Gayle King about the Writers Guild of America strike while promoting his new book.
What did he say, Preston?
He said the entire industry is at a crossroads. And everybody knows it. He said the financial motor has to be completely redefined. And there's some degree of pie here that is going to have to be equitably distributed by the people who are responsible for the content.
I love pie.
Not the folks who make the deals for the content. The
You have a
folks
favorite?
who actually
I do
make
that.
it.
It's a Boston cream.
Oh,
I'm a sucker. I will drop trow.
Pretty lovely. I admit, Reed.
That's more of a cake, though, don't you think?
Cream fan as well.
Man,
And they
you
call it
don't
a
like
pie.
Clint Eastwood movies. Not even word one about Natalie Imbruglia. I don't know. I don't know where we connect on this.
I love that Natalie Imbruglia's name was uttered on our show.
There's a picture of
this
her
morning.
on the screen here, Preston. You love the guy.
She's a beautiful woman.
She was married to the lead singer of Silverchair. wasn't
That's
she?
correct, yeah. She started off in the soaps in Australia.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so Bachelor Nation news.
Yeah!
right.
What
happened?
So excited.
Well, I noticed this story.
Yeah.
So, Serene Russell? Serene Russell. I thought it was Serena. It's Serene. And
I love you.
And Brandon Jones
I love me.
were once a Bachelor Nation favorite, but now
I love us.
they're going their separate ways.
I don't love us.
On Monday, the Bachelor in Paradise stars announced that they are ending their engagement.
It's with heavy hearts we make this announcement.
They wrote in a joint statement on Instagram.
Well, he watched her write it.
After many months, today we have ultimately decided to end our engagement. We have tried to work privately on our relationship, but it has been incredibly challenging in the public eye.
I've noticed lately that former bachelorettes and bachelors end up looking better the further they get away from the show.
Oh.
For some reason, they age better.
They said this has been immensely hard to accept and painful as there's a lot of love between the two of us.
No, there isn't.
Love. So that's their joint statement, but they're breaking up.
Okay, I ask this question all the time because it's been on for, they've had so many variations on it. How many seasons of The Bachelor does it say? Of The Bachelorette?
627. I think it was like 37 or something.
It's insane.
Like that. Yeah, so it's crazy.
You saw the latest rumors, right? That the former host
Chris Harrison?
that he might be coming back.
I'm back, baby!
I did not know that.
That's it.
I'm back, baby!
All right, so Steve sent this story over to me. 36 years after MTV News was created to expand the stable of programming that defined the cable channel MTV, it is no more. MTV News was shuttered this week as part of a larger layoffs that's taking place at parent company Paramount Global. And so this is the intro.
MTV News. You hear it first.
What launched as a single show in 1987, The Weekend Rock, led by correspondent Kurt Loder, eventually became a bona fide news outlet for Gen X and older millennials who found that traditional TV programming on the broadcast networks and CNN wasn't cutting it. Correspondents like Loder, Tabitha Soren, Suchin Pak, Gideon Yago, Allison Stewart, and others covered music, pop culture, politics, and other topics with an eye toward the younger generation that was turned to MTV rather than the network evening newscasts.
You know, when it first debuted, it was kind of derided. And looking back and looking at some of the clips, they did a pretty good job. It was well done.
I agree. I had no idea it was even still around. I haven't watched
MTV is barely around.
In ages, but I was sad to see this because this was, I watched MTV News. I absolutely did.
Kurt Loder seemed to be 111 when it started, but he was good. He gave that the stamp of real, at least journalism credibility.
Yeah. Along the way, MTV News created some pop culture moments itself, perhaps none bigger than in 1994 when President Clinton appeared on MTV's Enough is Enough, a town hall addressing violence in America.
That chicken the white steak video.
They subsequently held town halls with Barack Obama, John McCain, Bill Gates, and others. Coverage of topics like sexual health, the Iraq War, devastating natural disasters earned the news division and its correspondents Emmys and Peabody Awards.
How about that?
While it continued to deliver news and criticism of music and pop culture. It was already significantly reduced in size back in 2017 when it largely abandoned a strategy to take on outlets like BuzzFeed and Vice with a team of digital journalists. The company said at the time that it would refocus on short-form content and video in a return to its roots. The most recent iteration focused on entertainment and pop culture news and criticism. It was a fictional segment. The most recent iteration of it was a fictional segment meant as an ad to tee up the new season of the Showtime series Yellow Jackets, and Loder himself played his part at the MTV News desk, reporting on the missing soccer team whose, quote, whereabouts are still unknown. So they have officially ended it. MTV News is over. I was a little sad to see that.
There was a time when MTV was the pop culture driver. I mean, they were all over everything. And I mean, the movie awards were, obviously they did a sort of a hybrid version. Yeah. But they don't even register that much anymore.
So I was sad to see that, but I was happy to see a couple of other things. Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan will return for a fourth and final season, and they have a date.
Nice.
It will be in June. Amazon announced in a press release that season 4 The political action thriller series will premiere June 30th.
It's a great show.
Oh, it's so good.
The quality is terrific, and every season has been solid so far.
And Steve, this last season was my favorite. I thought that I was afraid that it was going to fall off a little bit, and it did not at all. At least in my humble opinion.
Funny, I saw John Krasinski made this announcement. I don't remember if I saw on Twitter or Instagram last night, but I was like, oh crap, I forgot about this season. And so after the Sixers game last night, I was like, all right, well, I got to finish this one now. So I restarted. I restarted it, but I couldn't remember where I left off. So I was like, all right, might as well start from the beginning.
So season 4 will see Ryan take on his most dangerous mission yet, facing an enemy both foreign and domestic. Wendell Pierce, who we spoke to a while back, was cool.
Very cool.
Is in it still. Michael Kelly, Betty Gabriel, Casey, the return of Abby Cornish, who we loved in the first season.
Yeah.
She is also going to be starring. She's Australian, I found out. I did not know that.
Oh, I thought she was British.
Also, Michael Pena and Luis Ozawa will join the cast for season 4. And for those of you who are Stephen King readers like myself, I was so delighted to see this yesterday. Tom Hiddleston and Mark Hamill are set to star in a new film adaptation of Stephen King's The Life of Chuck. So this is a short story. It's in a book called If It Bleeds. I read the book twice, and mainly because I liked The Life of Chuck.
Okay.
This whole thing, it's a 3-part story that jumps around timeline-wise.
Are there genre elements in it?
Yeah, very much so. There's the first part you're going, I have no idea what this is. This doesn't make any sense to me.
Tell Chuck to shut up.
This is Bill telling Chuck to shut up. But I actually told Chuck D'Amico about it. I'm like, dude, your name's Chuck. You should read this story. It's really, really good. The adaptation will come from director Mike Flanagan, who did The Haunting of Hill House and Dr. Sleep.
Very nice.
And will write and produce the upcoming project alongside Trevor Macy. And according to Deadline, the script for the series has been in the works for several months. Hiddleston will play the lead role of Charles Krantz, with Hamill playing Albie, who I believe is his grandfather. Deadline source notes that the film will draw tonally from classics like Stand By Me, The Shawshank Redemption, and The Green Mile.
That's a good pedigree.
Absolutely. So I'm very happy to pass that news along.
And yes, just make it good. The Shining. I watched a little bit of the first episode, the remake or the new version. I was not the Stand. I'm sorry.
Oh, the Stand. Yeah. And I guess it depends on who's helming it. So, like Dr. Sleep, I thought that was pretty good.
No, it was.
And so the fact that the guy behind that is doing this, that bodes well. And obviously, those three that I mentioned, Shawshank Redemption, Green Mile, Stand By Me, were all wonderful.
Good stuff.
So they can be done right, and hopefully they can do it right. All right, more good news. Variety reports Beetlejuice 2 will hit theaters September 6th, 2024. So there is an official date on this.
And the casting looks great.
Michael Keaton set to reprise his role as Beetlejuice. Winona Ryder.
You did. Winona.
Will return as Lydia Dietz. And Jenna Ortega and Justin Theroux will be starring in the film as well.
So Jenna Ortega is going to be obviously the daughter of Winona Ryder.
Yes,
it's got to be.
perfect.
So I wonder how many more Wednesday-ish roles they're going to push her way.
She needs to stay away from those if possible,
After this,
or she'll get typecast.
branch out.
Yep. And then last bit of news, according to the Hollywood Reporter, Pedro Pascal is set to star in the forthcoming film called Weapons. The movie, which comes from the creators of the horror film Barbarian, has been
good movie.
Described as interrelated, multi-story horror epic that is tonally in the vein of Magnolia.
Magnolia?
Yeah. So that should be interesting.
I don't see how you get Magnolia to Barbarian, but let's see what they do.
Well, maybe it's like a multi-story, arc of several different.
Barnolia.
Kind of like like Love Actually has stories that thread through each other.
It's in the same environment.
Steve, what is Barbarian about?
It is a horror movie that takes you. So it involves a house. It involves a basement. It involves a big plot turn that you don't see coming.
Okay.
And it's really good. I don't want to give any bit of it away.
Yeah, take a journey on your own.
Right.
All right, you've seen it too?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
And, on Steve's recommendation, and you're right. Like, you don't want to give away too much.
Yeah, you need to be I don't want to say suckered by the plot, but it does things to sort of throw you off the scent, and it does a great job.
Anybody that I know in it?
You would know from It, Skarsgård. He's Bill
Skarsgård.
Right.
Justin Long's in it.
Biff Skarsgård
Biff
and
Skarsgård.
Justin Long, and the actress I didn't know, but she was great.
Okay. All right. We're ready for clips now. Crater is the new Disney film that follows a group of teenagers growing up and exploring the universe. And in this clip, star McKenna Grace.
I love her.
Talks about one of her worst adventures. Here we go.
I went to a party with I thought that it was going to be like fine if I showed up in my Taylor Swift cardigan and I had like this big lime green Slimer from Ghostbusters purse. And then I showed up and it was black tie. And it was like a bunch of very well-known people, and I felt super nervous, and then I didn't talk to anyone, and I was the youngest person, and I just felt like super embarrassed.
Shut the up, huh?
She is one of the best, when she was a little kid, one of the best little kid actors I've ever seen.
She's terrific.
The movie called Gifted with Chris Evans.
And she's also the young Carol Danvers.
And she's in Handmaid's Tale, too, which is pretty wild. Crater is streaming now on Disney+. Here's the next clip. Class of 09 follows the story of a group of FBI agents who graduated from Quantico, and here's star Kate Mara talks about what she enjoyed most about filming. Tonight at 7 o'clock. Tonight at 7 o'clock.
I love the past.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What the hell was that?
I don't know.
Tonight at 7 o'clock. Tonight at 7 o'clock.
Tonight at 7 o'clock. Tonight at 7 o'clock. Tonight at 7 o'clock. Tonight at 7 o'clock.
I love the past.
Wait, is that in the the clip?
Yes.
Tonight at 7 o'clock. Tonight at 7 o'clock.
What is that show on?
Tonight at 8 o'clock. Tonight at 8 o'clock.
Was that code for did you just put something into action, Preston?
Tonight at 7 o'clock. Tonight at 7 o'clock.
I love the past stuff because I've always been really interested in how...
We go down to Washington where a missile defense system has just been engaged.
Tonight at 7 o'clock. Tonight at 7 o'clock.
I love the past stuff.
It became in one of the audio clips on the Preston and Steve show.
Tonight at 7 o'clock. Tonight at 7 o'clock.
The repetition of Tonight at 7 o'clock apparently activated it.
A little worried.
Tonight at 7 o'clock. Tonight
Tonight at 7 o'clock. Tonight at 7 o'clock. That's me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh my God.
Tonight at 7 o'clock. 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 Tonight at 7 o'clock.
Dude,
The missiles are lowering back into the silo. Whatever happened has been corrected.
I have no idea why that would be on the... Oh, Marissa might know. Hang on.
All right. So my computer is so sticky. Everything around here, it's just sprayed, somebody, whatever. So I was cleaning it. And I guess when I was cleaning my VoxPro board, that is the clip that copied and pasted.
Oh, okay. So,
And I'm pretty sure that I had done it after I sent the clips over, but I guess not. And I have no idea how it was just that little sliver, but I'm glad that this just happened.
It's very funny. Yeah, no problem.
is there anything happening tonight at 7 o'clock?
Jeopardy's on.
yeah.
Jeopardy.
I'm pretty excited.
All right.
When is that on again,
Tonight
Preston?
at 7 o'clock.
Tonight at 7 o'clock. Tonight at 7 o'clock.
Thank you.
Okay.
Couldn't remember.
Here's Kate Mara.
I love the past stuff because I've always been really interested in how FBI agents actually become agents and like what they have to go through in Quantico. Those stories are the most interesting to me. So I always loved it when we had scenes to do in that world.
You suck my and shut the up. Huh?
Wow, he's upset.
Class of 09 is available today.
What is that on again, Preston?
On Hulu. It's on tonight at 7 o'clock, from what I hear. Yeah. All right. That's it. It's going to be an interesting morning, I can tell already.
Yeah.
For the entertainment report, we have a lot going on. We have a secret text word, so we have a chance to win a 90-minute house on floats and a 30-minute sauna session. You can give that to mom. You can keep it for yourself, too, whatever you want to do. But it's a great gift for mom. Text the word secret 239333. You might win later on. Henry Winkler will be joining us. Emilio Estevez will be on the program as well. And MMR's concert cash is coming up, too. We'll be right back, so hang out.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WNFR.
How about all of that? So yeah, they had a red carpet and the full deal. The documentary feature went to My Octopus Teacher. It's been mentioned several times on this show, so wanted to throw that in there. Accepting was the octopus. And there was no wrap-up music.
No,
He just kept sucking and clicking and doing that whole thing for a long time. So,
Is that him walking
Suction cups, yeah.
That's him walking up to the podium. It was awkward, but listen, I mean, he was the star of the films.
It is a hell of a movie if you get a chance to see it. Think of a Nomad Land, but with sea creatures.
They really should have put the octopus in the in memoriam section. I don't know why they didn't.
Did he die?
Well, he's an octopus. I mean, the movie came out like 2 years ago.
How long does your average octopus live?
I'll bet
the length of a documentary movie.
I'll bet they live longer than you think.
No,
they don't. They live like a year.
They don't.
Really?
Yeah, watch the movie.
Oh,
Wait,
you saw it too, Kathy?
Yeah,
I saw the movie
great.
and I don't remember that shocking piece of
That's
news.
sad.
What?
Poor thing.
All right,
well,
I'm
maybe
gonna
it was a
check
thing.
it out.
3 to 5 years.
3 to 5
All right,
years.
see, they're already getting longer lives.
See, he can still
1 year.
He could have accepted the award.
I wouldn't have wasted time with this dickhead then if I was an actor. I got a little living to do, baby.
All right, Yolanda Hadid is in love with. Thank you, Casey.
You're welcome.
In love with her daughter Gigi Hadid's daughter Kai.
So she loves her granddaughter?
She does.
Oh my
Steve.
God!
That told
So
you.
who got the scoop on this
The
one?
news is big here this morning.
Wow.
Don't go to press yet.
Yeah.
I've got something.
She shared a tribute.
Yolanda Hadid, granddaughter.
Breaking news.
She,
Do you have a source that can confirm this? I'm not going with this unless you have corroboration.
well, they heard from an octopus that actually.
in a parking garage.
Yeah.
The octopus was in the shadows, but.
I have it on good authority that Yolanda Hadid is her granddaughter.
Oh my God.
Will you go on record with that?
You are people who don't want this information out.
Oh my God.
He's scared, man.
I'm very scared.
And then he just walked away. That's my new favorite thing. The octopus walking away in a cavernous room with lots of reverb so you can hear it.
I can see you're an octopus. Even in shadow.
He's got a trench coat on.
He doesn't even need a trench coat. He's got like this amazing camouflage.
Listen, he's running now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Casey, he just blends in with the floor.
It's amazing.
A dove formerly owned by Prince has passed away.
Yeah. Well, you know, he was big into the doves when doves cry.
Of course. But I didn't know that he had, well, this particular dove was named Divinity.
Yeah.
Female white dove owned by Prince. She died on Tuesday following a recent decline in her health due to her age. She was 28 years old.
That is an exceptionally old dove.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a cat that lived to 22, and that seemed like an eternity for a pet lifespan.
Yes.
But listen, I know that some birds, like African greys and so on, can live for like 80 years.
Absolutely.
But I
They
didn't think
usually outlive their owners.
But I didn't think a dove had that kind of a shelf life, for lack of a better
I bathed
term.
in the purifying waters of Lake Minnetonka. And
That must have been
what
what
I
did
attribute
it.
my longevity to.
Well, longevity for divinity.
Following Prince's death in 2016, Divinity remained at his Paisley Park and could be seen during the tours of his former estate.
Divinity conducted the tours.
According to the executive director of the Paisley Park tours, said Divinity's beautiful coo has welcomed visitors since Paisley Park first opened its gates to the public in October 2016. She was one of the enduring links to Prince for thousands of fans. She will be missed.
I would love to go to Paisley Park.
Me too.
I read there was a really fascinating article. Prince started writing an autobiography, and he hired a writer to help him write it. And so a year or so before he died, the writing process began, and the writer spent a lot of time in Paisley Park. And I've gained so much more of an appreciation for Prince after his death, which makes me feel guilty for some weird reason. But just everything that went into Paisley Park and his life is really amazing.
I was just watching a replay of yesterday of him at the Super Bowl when he did the halftime.
God.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and his version, along with Danny Harrison and Tom Petty of "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" from Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony years ago, is just unbelievably great.
The outside of Paisley Park looks like a
looks like a school or
you would not
like
you would
that.
have no idea.
What I haven't seen are pictures of the inside.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, it's like a modern Graceland. Like it's Prince through and through.
Our old boss has been to parties there, Jim McGuinn, because he's a program director in Minneapolis, and that's where it is.
That's cool.
So yeah, I would
Elevator
love to go
inside and all the whole deal.
So in addition to Divinity, Prince also owned a dove named Majesty, which according to reports were quiet. Both of them were quiet in the immediate days following his death, but they perked up after hearing his music.
I don't want to talk.
And a new generation of doves will continue to live on.
This is what it sounds like when doves cry. I'm gonna throw up.
That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds
When
like.
doves cry.
Yeah, they were upset about Prince's death.
I swear to God, I'm gonna throw up.
Oh my God! Hey, are doves the same things as pigeons?
No.
No,
Not
They're
even
related.
close.
They are related.
Yeah, they're in the same bird family.
That's what I mean.
If you look at their license, there's a delineation.
Okay.
My dad and I used to go dove hunting regularly. We used to blast those things out of the sky.
Dude, I mean, come on.
We'd eat them.
I know, but still, it's like puppy hunting. You know? It's so nice and cute and peaceful.
They're different than the ones that you see. They're gray
They
colored
kill
ones.
families.
Oh,
yes.
They are all tatted up.
He was doing service to the families of Kentucky.
They are literally the symbol for peace, however.
Yes.
I was completely eaten by a dove today. Anyone kill them for us.
Son, we got work to do.
We beat it to death with an olive branch.
I have a hair change story that
That's a cool sound effect.
After splitting from her fiance, Dale Moss, Bachelorette alum Claire Crawley is ready for love and a new pink hairdo.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
I saw it.
Yeah?
I've not seen it.
It's not over the top.
It's not crazy hot
It's
pink.
light. She says she wanted to show that she could do something crazy.
Okay.
As we observed, everything she's done shows she can do something crazy.
Oh, you're right. It's a nice pink. It's like an ombre.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. She didn't go. I was thinking like shocking. Like Katy Perry when she had super pink hair. Anyway.
Getting the tattoo of Florida on her forehead.
Did you see that guy?
I did.
He's got a tattoo of the state right on his forehead.
Ridiculous.
All righty, buddy. Source tells us she sees her time spent with Dale as something of her past and is ready to move forward.
Can help me to learn about myself.
So she has pink hair now.
Okay, the ombre's good. I kind of prefer the Ganon, bro.
What's the Ganon?
Come on,
bro.
Keep going. Do it. Finish it.
I'm not finishing
Come
it.
on.
It's Ganon, bro. I like the up dog.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Here's the tattoo of the Florida, by the way.
That looks good.
Oh, man, what is going on?
I know. We have a monitor that's normally in front of us. It doesn't work, and I can't see the photos when they come up. But yes, that's just brilliant. Best performance by an actress in a motion picture drama went to Andra Day for The United States versus Billie Holiday. And overall best motion picture drama went to Nomadland. So there you go. That's our first foray into a very strange awards year.
It was. You know what was one of the weirder things, Preston? At certain points when they were going into a commercial and they had the nominees, they'd put the nominees up and they'd bring up their microphones so that they could sort of like talk and like. And there was, did you see Case? I don't know, because there was a point where Pacino was up for something and they were all, hi, Mr. Pacino, I'm a big fan of yours. And there's this cross talk that's not, no one was overseeing it. It was just like you were listening in on a Zoom call.
Wait, so the crosstalk was between the fellow nominees?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So they did that a couple times. If they ever do this again, they should not do that again.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, right?
It's very weird. And I'm like, is something supposed to be happening?
What was great, though, is when Soul won for best, I think it was best animated, who do you call it? Tracy Morgan pronounced it as Saul, right? He goes, and the winner is, and he goes, Saul. And then there was no reaction because there was no movie called Saw.
Right.
And then he realized that he had made the mistake. And then they had cut to the, it was for best original song. But either way, the actors, it was Sudeikis, it was the people that were up for the next award.
Right.
They were having a ball with it. They were cracking up. Don Cheadle was making fun of them, and it was really, really.
I think Pacino didn't realize that he was still on the Zoom call because he was standing in the doorway pleasuring himself.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh no, you
How
don't do
awkward
that.
is
It feels so good.
Right.
Well, I didn't see that clip. But I did see. I saw a clip.
I'm gonna shout.
WMMR.
All right, thanks, Kath. We had some sad news we saw today. A friend of the show, 100-year-old World War II veteran Roland Scarinci passed away. He's the guy that would come and play harmonica, Camp Out for Hunger here in the studio. Just a lovely guy.
Wore his original uniform.
Yeah, he
amazing.
Wear the uniform all over. She said Roland enjoyed life to the fullest with his harmonica in hand. He spread sunshine and love to everyone he would meet. He loved our country and would play God Bless America at many events across Philadelphia and beyond. We were lucky enough to know him.
And I noted he adored his wife, and to know that they're together, is wonderful. And he would speak when he'd talk about her. It was so beautiful to, it was like they were back dating, years ago. It never left him.
I remember the story. They met on a bus or something like that, or on a streetcar or something along those lines. And it was a really sweet story.
Yeah.
So sad news, but we were fortunate enough to have him in our life for a little while. Which
Great
is
guy.
a wonderful thing. We had a story earlier this morning, and Roland lived to be 100 years old, and stayed vibrant and active all through that time, which is fantastic. We can all only hope for something like that. And then you have Robert De Niro, who's 79 years old and just cranked out his seventh kid.
Seventh kid. We don't quite know who the woman is, but 79 years old.
Yeah.
And has a baby.
Yeah. So I don't know how old the baby is when they had
the
this.
baby is 41.
Oh my God, no! So he had mentioned in an interview he was doing. They said, you have 6 children. He goes, no, I actually have 7.
It seems like it slipped, right?
I just had a baby, he said. So I think that's pretty wild. Did you now 79 years old and having a baby? Listen, it's great that you're bringing a life into the world,
sure.
and
it came out of a place of love,
all of that. But what kind of a parent can you expect to be at 79 years old?
You're basically you're a grandparent. You're
great grandparent. Really?
Yeah.
At that age?
Maybe fair to middling grandparent.
I mean, because I remember when I was a little kid, my grandmother, and I was probably, 6 or 7 years old. My grandmother was in her, early 90s. My great grandmother was in her early 90s. He's approaching great grandfather age with a child that young. Did you guys know anyone who had significantly older parents?
Yeah.
I did too. My friend Tom, his parents were
how old?
Way older. I couldn't tell you because my sense of age recognition at that time of a teenager was, everybody was older, but they were a lot older. So they had to have been at that time when my parents were in their 40s. His parents had to have been in their late 60s or something like that.
So a friend of mine, now we were kids. I'm going to say we were like 9 or 10, and I remember his father was in his early 60s, and the mother was like half that age.
Yeah.
So, he was out of shape, and he was just not, he was never, he would sit at the table, read the paper, and I always saw him the same way with the beer. Never did anything.
Yeah, I could, Tom's parents, I did not relate to them at all. Like some of my friends' parents, talked to them, and it's still awkward teenage stuff, but this was like not even, not nothing.
Right.
Yeah. There are a few different factors going in here. Like, people looked older than they were, back in the day. So, you have that, like the Wilford Brimley thing where like he was 50 when he was in Cocoon, but he looked like he was 80. Right. So I have a friend who, I feel like his parents were way older, but I don't know.
It might be a misperception.
It might be a misperception.
When you're a kid, you see everybody's 1,000 years old. But I mean, at this point, and the classic thing is, now he's got money, he's set, he's okay. Yeah. But when the kid's doing those moments that you go through, your first base. Remember when
Larry
King.
Steve and I met
Perfect
Larry
example.
King, and he's bent over. He's elderly. I mean, he's very frail.
He's a bone with hair on it.
And we're talking to him. He's like, "Yeah, I got to go to my kid's little league game today." We were like, "Wow!" His child's little league.
I gotta leave. It's T-ball, I think it was.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But you know what? Yeah, I'd be curious to talk to some people who've had significantly older parents.
Yeah.
And see what that's like. Is it normal to you? Probably.
Yeah.
215-263-WMMR. That's the number.
The other aspect is sometimes the quote unquote parents are actually the grandparents. And,
yes.
and
I have a friend who thought she had a sister.
Yeah.
And turns out she was the aunt to that person.
Right.
Yeah. And her parents were actually the grandparents.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy hell.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. There's a lot of cases, sadly, because of a lot of drug deaths and things like that.
Yeah.
Kids are being raised by their grandparents.
But there was another family that I knew growing up where I just, and I want to be as nice as possible here.
Hated.
But no. I just couldn't figure out how, why, when, where this relationship existed, because the dad.
Yeah.
Listen, maybe he was filthy rich, tons of money, but they lived in like a normal looking house, but like the dad
yes.
Was unattractive.
Looked like the doctor from Cannonball Run.
Yeah.
And the mom was like a swimsuit
Jackie
model.
Lam, yes.
And like I couldn't, I'm
That
like,
was my.
I'm like, how does this? What is going on here?
That was my friend.
Uh-huh.
His father was a blob, and the mother was like milfy. And though the kids thought she was great,
It wasn't even milfy. It
Right.
was like, because we were at the pool, I was like, oh,
yeah,
she is just like she's a 10.
Yeah.
I couldn't, I just couldn't, and still, even to this day, just like I hadn't thought about that whole family.
Stacy's mom.
The other thing that I'm always curious about too is what it does to the siblings, or half siblings. Because I just looked up Larry King. The first child that he had was born in 1961. The last child that he had was born in 2000, which means that the first child was 39 years older than his or her brother or sister.
Hey, Larry.
Oh, you got some help there.
I know, yeah. I mean, but it's just got to be strange to have a sibling be that much younger than you.
I know you're going to get bumped out of the will, or something's going to happen.
The weird ones are always when the uncle is younger than the nephew.
Yes, like Mick Jagger, man. Yeah.
I have a friend who is, I think she's young, maybe 25, something like that. And her dad just had a baby. And I can already see it. There's not really going to be much of a relationship.
Really?
And I think it depends on the family. I think if they were, maybe she was still living at home or something like that. But I don't she's just kind of like, yeah, it's another kid in the family. It's not like they're going to have some, sister relationship.
So do you think it F's up? Because it's almost always going to be the case that that parent is going to be removed from a lot of the monumental or momentous occasions as a child is growing. What kind of dynamic does that create? Or can it work in your favor?
I'm going to go to some calls here, and I'm going to go in escalating order, okay?
Yeah.
We'll start on the low end. I'm going to go to Krista. Hi, Krista. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Krista. It says here that your father was how old when you were born?
He was 51 years old when I was born. It was his second marriage, so I actually have half siblings that are 25 years older than me.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's
Are you
crazy.
close with them?
I am. We actually grew up together. I grew up with my dad's ex-wife and her new husband. There's pictures of me on his lap as a kid, and it wasn't weird to me at the time. But then as I got older, I realized how strange that family dynamic was, and that my parents were the same age as my friend's grandparents.
Krista, did you perceive your step siblings as almost like uncles or other parents? I mean, being that much older?
They were kind of like cousins to me, I feel like. And my cousins were actually more like my siblings. There was a moment when I was about 13 years old that mother-daughter relationships are always tough during that time, in which there was a second where I thought my sister might have actually been my mother because I related to her so much more.
Oh, man. It's Chinatown. Yeah.
Well, I
wasn't
mean,
true, but like during that moment when you're about 13 years old, you're like, man, I don't know what I don't feel like I'm related to my mom at all.
Right.
Wow.
That's wild.
We
Thank
just
you.
got a text message from our coworker, Glenn Stagg. He's 52 years old. He has an 18-month at home. That's
right.
At home.
God, he's 52.
Yeah, he looks great. Doesn't
I
he?
I don't ever remember him showing.
He's he works out.
He hit it well. Yeah.
I'm going to go to Beverly next. Hey, Beverly, good morning.
Hey, Gadzooks.
Gadzooks, Beverly, what's up?
So I tell everyone this story. My husband is 67. His father was 61 when he was born.
Oh.
His mother was 38. But his father was born in 1895.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Come on.
Because it's mind-blowing. My father was born in 1925, and I always say to him, your father was 30 when my father was born.
I mean, Beverly, any family member who did keg stands with Lincoln. I mean, wow.
I say, like, he was born 30 years after the Civil War. I'm like, do you understand the impact? And he has a sibling. My husband has a sister who's 2 years older than he is. Now, his mom was only 38, but his father had been married before and the wife had passed away. So he had step siblings that were, or half siblings that were in their 40s. And
Did you ever meet his father?
No.
Okay, he'd been.
Fortunately, no. He had passed away, and he was pretty old when he passed away. I think he was in his late 80s. But just the idea that he was born in 1895.
Yeah. It's a mind blower.
Yeah.
It's a mind blower.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
Thanks,
crazy.
guys.
All right, thanks, Beverly. Appreciate it. Let me go next to Joe. Joe, good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, guys. Sorry if I didn't work.
Nah, it's all right. It says here on my screen, your dad was 70 when you were born.
That is correct.
Wow.
I was born in 1980. He was born in 1910.
Wow. Okay, so what's that like by the time you're 10 years old, your father is 80 years old? How long did he, I assume he's no longer with us, depending on your age.
I'm sorry, cut off there. What?
How old are you, Joe?
Right now, I'm 42.
Okay, so your father is passed by now.
Yep, he passed when I was 16.
Wow.
So didn't get a long time with him, but
And think of that, he lived a long life. He lived to 86.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, let me ask you a quick question on this, because we tend to think, well, it's got to be a downer to have a parent that's that much older. Were there upsides? Were there positive aspects of it?
Well, so I'm saying as a kid, I hate to say this, but it was embarrassing.
Okay.
Aww.
No,
I get it.
no, they're being honest. I understand.
Is this your grandfather? I'm like, no. I'm like, man, he was older than my grandparents. Than my mom's dad. Looking back, it was awesome. The dude was a World War II vet.
Okay.
Lived through the Great Depression. Like, he had stories that I can't relate to. But now I'm glad. Back
That's
then it
good.
was like,
I love to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's only natural that as a teenager that it would have been awkward, and you as a teenager you're looking to fit in. You're not looking to have a different scenario than everybody else. And then when the whole parent things, wow, your dad seems like a grandfather. It must have been strange. But the fact that you can look back on it now and appreciate it is that's a positive.
I do now. I do this and I can say a lot of the fact that he's not here makes me question a lot of my decisions. A lot of things that I do, I'm like, oh, would he be disappointed in that?
Mm-hmm.
No, I get that. My mom passed away when I was I was 20, 21. And, there are many times in my life where I go, I hope she's proud of me. I hope I'm doing okay. Yeah.
Joe, did you have much of a relationship with him?
I did. And so my parents got divorced when I was 10. And unfortunately, the judge thought I was mature enough to decide which parent to live with.
Yeah.
And I chose him because I was like, well, I know I don't have as much time. And we did. You know what? He was, Roland that you were just talking about, lived to 100.
Yep.
My dad worked till he was 82.
Jeez.
So he didn't stop. He was out there playing catch. We did stuff. We played games. Like I said, looking back, I wish I would have paid attention more, asked him more questions, picked up more on the stories.
I'm sure, you tend to beat yourself up, but I'm sure you were a source of joy for him, yeah.
I will say, anytime someone was like, "Who's your grandson?" No, that's my son.
Yeah.
And I think he was a little proud, yeah, I'm an old man and still got it.
Hey, by the way, how old was your mother? What was the age difference? How many years?
My mom was 26.
Wait, what?
What?
Okay.
What?
All right,
All right, do tell.
What? Was she a Beata nurse or something? What?
I brought this up with my mom as I was older, and I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Give me the scoop.
It's kind of not that great. Listen, happy of a story, but her dad, my grandfather, was a bit of a jerk.
Yeah.
So she kind of always latched on to older guys, a father figure.
Or a great-grandfather figure.
Or a great-grandfather figure.
Yeah.
And apparently the story I got was that he lied about his age and was very good. And I believe I was told that he said he was in his 50s, and I guess she bought it.
So let me go back a second here. So her father was abusive, it sounds like.
Bad things were happening at home.
Okay.
All right.
And then so she had some kind of a father complex issue, and sometimes you actually it makes strange things happen.
It makes
and
you
may want to go for somebody significantly older who could be a positive father figure.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, and he lied about his age.
So he said he was like in his 50s, I guess, and he bought it, and kind of I'll say the funny part of the story I thought was that they didn't get married for many years, and she finally told me they didn't get married because he was already married, and
oh my God.
Hey, you want to go to the Usher concert?
Eventually, when his other wife died, they got married.
All right, so Joe, let me just tell you this: if you're ever questioning whether or not he's proud of you or he would condone what you were doing,
don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
You're good, buddy. You're good. She did just fine.
You're covered at this point.
It's all good. Wow, what an interesting story.
Yeah, like I said, when you're younger and people are like, "How old is your dad?" It's like, oh God.
That's the thing that you think, and you always hear about that. And people have listen. The kids are going to be cruel, and it's part of the deal. And they're confused. They don't know. They know what a grandfather's supposed to look like. They don't. Yeah. They don't expect your father to drop you off at school in an iron lung. So
I wonder if that's a little different now, though, because people are having kids much later in life. So I wonder if it's not, looked at so much like it was for Joe.
If you're under proper care, you should be able to have kids well into your 80s.
Joe, thank you for sharing the story, man. We appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, man.
See you, buddy.
That's a wild story.
By the way, fertility, men do have biological clocks. I was reading this article, and fertility declines with age. According to a recent study out of London, the probability of a live birth is reduced by 1/3 if dad is over 50. Men who have children after age 40 are at a greater risk of having damaged sperm, which could lead to increased risk of miscarriage, rare genetic disorders, and psychiatric conditions in offspring. But on the positive side, kids born to older fathers tend to show greater intelligence, which could be due in part to older men being more financially stable once they have their kids.
A greater appreciation of the game bocce.
Yes, you would think so. Lou is on the line. This has got to be our Lou. Let me go to him. Lou? Yeah, of course. Lou's going to have a story to share. Hey, Lou, what's up, bud?
Hi. Well, listen, when my family had owned a bakery when I grew up, so my grandfather fooled around with the secretary and had a child. Now, that baby was raised as my cousin.
The baby was raised as your cousin.
He was younger than me, too. So my grandfather was probably 55. The secretary was 25. And my grandmother used to cook breakfast for us all. So I was surprised she kept her mouth shut.
Kept her mouth shut.
Keep your mouth shut.
I'm surprised she kept her mouth shut.
You have a beautiful mouth. Keep it shut.
My her live in the apartment up at the lake house. And it was always, I didn't figure it out till I was older that Stevie was really my uncle and not my cousin.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
And did that cause any ripples in the family when that was revealed?
Just back then, everybody kind of just kept quiet about it. No ripples.
Okay.
My grandmother got even at the end because my grandfather was bedridden in his later years. She took care of him, and she cleaned his bed sores, and she fed him, and she washed him, and then spent the rest of the afternoon screaming at him and getting even about all the years of all that.
Oh my God!
So she went full blown misery on his ass.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Wow. Interesting.
She used to blast polka music. I was Italian, and she would blast polka music.
Just to bother him?
Just to get it, yes. Oh yeah, he hated polka music.
Oh, my God.
You're a dirty bird.
Wow. Lou, do you think you might have somebody come knocking on the door one day and say, by the way, Dad?
It's a possibility. That's why my wife wants me to do that.
The 23andMe, yeah, the DNA stuff. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. She goes, why? You afraid of a knock at the door?
You can do the Italian version, which is, who the hell are you?
Who the hell are you?
Hey, who are you?
What do you want? All right.
Who the hell are you?
Hey, Lou, Little Bird tells me you'll be at Keenan's for our live broadcast.
I will be there. Yes.
Nice.
All right, we will look forward to seeing you then. All right, bud?
Yep, I'll be there bright and early, guys.
All right, Lou. See you, Lou.
See ya. Oh,
All right, see you later. Of course he would have a story. Wow. Let me see. Hang on. How much time we have here? I can go to another caller, too.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Brendan. Hey, Brendan, good morning.
Good morning, Gadzooks.
Gadzooks. See you, Brendan. What's up?
First time caller, long time listener.
Oh.
You guys are literally my celebrities that get me through everything.
Oh, thanks so much.
Happy to have you on board, bud.
Anyways, so in high school, my mom would call the parents to make sure that there was a parent home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my one friend, his dad was 92 years old.
Whoa.
And when I put him on the phone to talk to my mom, she was like, let me make sure there's someone there. And he got on the phone and he was like, yes, who's this? What do you want? And she was like, thought we were pulling a prank on her. And she was like, Brendan, what are you doing? Like, that's a really bad impersonation.
Oh no!
Thought it was one of the kids pretending to be an older adult, but they shot too high in the old category.
You're not getting the voice right.
And he was like, got mad at her, and he was like, what do you want, lady? Come on. And he was like, you sound a little old, sir. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? I'm 92 years strong. I was in World War II.
Wow.
And she eventually was convinced?
Yeah, she was convinced because he started to talk about the burn on his leg from World War II.
Okay. Brendan, how close of a friend was this?
At that time, he was really close.
Okay.
He,
what was
the
it
guy
like?
Owned a furniture company and stuff, and was
Okay. Was it a little strange being around, the house when they've got parents that are that much
dinner
older?
time was at a geriatric 4 o'clock.
Okay.
4 o'clock for dinner.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then off to bed.
Any idea how old the mom was? Because she had to be significantly younger.
He, good old beautiful Rita was about 59.
Okay.
59. Okay.
All right.
Sorry, so she wasn't going to bed at too early. I mean, she still got many years left. What was she like?
She was wackadoodle.
Okay. I guess.
Yeah, she was with a 90-year-old dude. Yeah. Interesting. All right.
Wow. Made him build her a mansion down the shore.
Wow. Okay. All right, Brendan. Thank you for the call. We appreciate it, man.
Jeez.
Take care. Wow, that's up there in the 90s with a young kid. All right.
I'm eating my pudding.
But Robert De Niro, 79 years old, 7th child. Wow.
Amazing.
All right. We got to wrap up because we're going live on Fox Good Day. So we're going to do that now. We're also going to get the concert cash keyword for your chance to win $1,000 in MMRBQ tickets and the bizarre files. We got a few things coming up. Henry Winkler's on the show this morning. Emilio Estevez on the show as well. So hang out.
Preston and Steve on 93 93 WMMR. WMMR presents.
Oh
my God.
Splat.
All over my walls and when my children play with their toys. You were expecting something like that. There are a few people who clearly were not quite up to speed on the tech.
I'm gonna shoot over here.
That was good.
Oh, man.
Right after that.
Yes. Sorry, Nick.
No. This is also comedic. He fell asleep.
What?
Did he?
Yeah.
Was he asleep on camera, Nick?
Yeah. I mean, don't you usually fall asleep right afterwards?
Everybody's sleepy, you know, and you've expanded yourself. So the camera pans across his screen, and listen, his eyes are closed, and he looks like he might have not actually have been asleep, but he looked like he was sleepy.
There was so much fun pleasuring myself.
Oh no, the poor guy. Getting old.
I don't feel so good.
That's hilarious.
I'm up on out.
So, according to a new survey presented by the Water Quality and Health Council, 51% of Americans reported using a swimming pool as a communal bathtub, using the pool as an alternative to showering or rinsing off after engaging in exercise or yard work or whatever it may be. Even though 64% of Americans know that pool chemicals don't eliminate the need to shower, people continue to do it anyway. By the way, the survey comes as experts from the council, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and, which I didn't know existed, the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance.
Oh, that's great. That's what Darth Vader faces off in the second movie.
Work to educate the public on healthy and safe swimming.
We shall crush the Pool Alliance.
Yes, my name is Mortimer Sanchez, and I'm with the Pool Alliance. And we think you're a bad leader.
The survey also revealed.
I don't care.
The survey also revealed that 24% of Americans would go into a pool within 1 hour of having diarrhea.
See, that's now listen. That's why public pools are just not my thing.
Spend all
However,
day on the toilet. You know what I need to do? I need to take a swim.
get some of that residual out.
To check the chlorine and pH levels for a personal public pool, the council is offering free pool test kits through its 15th annual Healthy Pools campaign on its website.
This is the Alliance.
This is the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance.
Did you mention in this story, Preston, particular sunblocks affecting?
I didn't mention this.
Okay. Go into the pool now.
Peter Cushing.
Moff Tarkin.
This is the finest pool you'll ever swim in.
What were you saying, Nick? Sunscreens?
Yeah, the reason that I bring it up is that I went on a snorkel, not a scuba,
Snookle's
or a
good,
snorkel, but a snorkel.
It's the latest craze that's sweeping the beaches of America. Snorkeling.
Get some Beach Boys.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be
Good
great.
outside, hanging tan, snookling all day long.
Surfing USA, please.
Oh, sorry.
I know what the snookle is, if I may suggest.
Have a snorkel.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen.
Snorkel USA.
Like California.
I'm such an idiot.
All right, anyhow.
Snorkeling.
Oh, yeah.
I went snorkeling, and you weren't allowed to wear.
Feel of a snorkel at dawn.
You weren't allowed to wear the sunblock that you brought. You had to use the sunblock that they provided for you, and it's because the sunblock that most people wear is pretty damaging to the reef. And I was wondering if it would be damaging at all to like a pool filter or to the saltwater.
These are all good questions.
Whatever,
because some of the chemicals are pretty arch and can have that effect.
Yeah, and I've been snorkeling many times in my life, but this is the first time ever on a snorkel trip where I had to do this, and you weren't allowed to wear what you had, what you brought.
They provided.
They provided it for
Do you
you,
remember
yeah.
what it was? What type it was?
I don't. It was like an industrial vat.
It was called Reef Killer.
Yeah.
Reef Killer sunblock. A snorkel, by the way, as you're snorkeling, has a second tube that goes up back onto the beach so that someone could load M&Ms into them so that you can eat.
You're hungry.
So that's what a snorkel
Right,
is?
a snorkel is a second food tube.
Okay.
So that you can swim longer.
Everybody wins.
That's great.
They do have snuva.
Snuba.
Snuba is legit.
I've heard of that, yeah.
Snuba.
Apparently,
Yeah.
Snookle is legit as well.
Are you kidding
it?
me?
No, I'm serious.
If you can swim, you can snorkel. Yeah, he's absolutely right. Snorkel offers shallow dives.
Approximately 10 to 40 feet without cumbersome tanks and no diving certification necessary. That looks like Snuba.
It does.
So what
A hose,
what
right?
they do is, well, yeah, they have a floating tank that stays above the water, and you basically take the regulator down, and it's a long tube, a long hose that you can breathe in. We're getting ready to get recertified or to go into a refresher course for scuba to get set for our vacation. So I'm looking forward to it. But I'll ask about Snookle.
Yeah.
Zombie raccoons. That's my thing.
Yes.
That clumsily walk on two legs and show their teeth are staggering around suburban Chicago, and authorities are warning locals to hide their pets. A spike in raccoons testing positive for distemper in Riverside, Illinois, is to blame for the bizarre sightings of contaminated animals that the disease causes to appear zombie-like. While zombie raccoons don't eat brains, distemper is highly contagious. If you're feeding wildlife and that raccoon ate out of your bowl or cat food for your stray cats and your puppy goes over, the saliva can be contagious.
They sent in a Negan raccoon to take care of everything.
Well, oh, well, oh, well. Looks like we got ourselves a problem in Chi-Town. Leaning back high. Looks like we got some trouble. Some trouble in Chi-Town. Going deep dish on this bitch.
It's got a little leather jacket he wears. Yeah.
Leaning back, way far. Ooh, hey. In the home of Oprah.
There was an email that was sent out that we were going to have our studios checked because there may have been bed bugs brought into the area. And we've had everything checked out. They actually just brought a dog in to sniff. Yeah, I think it was Jack Russell is what it looked like.
Josie was her name.
Josie is the dog. And there's no bed bugs.
Well, no, that's not true. There were on a chair.
Oh, was there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Or yeah, it was sort of like a warm zone or something.
A warm zone.
They call those.
That's what I
There's
call my
not-
chairs at home. Yeah, my warm zone.
I think what everybody was worried about was an infestation, which I guess is not the case if it was just on the chair. I don't know.
Just on the chair. The rest of the place is apparently clean. Josie scoured our studio and nothing.
And I'm never coming back again.
You would have thought there was a radiation leak here.
Yeah. So I never told my wife that there was a bed bug.
She wouldn't have let you go to work.
No.
That was the first thing I told my wife, and I started laughing.
Yeah.
Because, listen, I'm surprised that's all we have. They're ripping the entire building apart, walls that haven't been opened up in years.
Yeah.
I imagine at night there must be a big vermin hoedown when we leave. Because you walk around, there's these cavernous... Like a wall will disappear.
Yeah.
There's a big opening now.
Yeah.
You walk down one hall, it's 11 degrees, and then the next hall, it's 1,400 degrees. It's a whole new environment. It's like you're on some spaceship that's just, morphing all the time, and that's what this is here.
Well, I'm just glad that they alerted us to it.
Yeah.
Because during some of the construction, apparently they were removing asbestos, and nobody ever told us.
Well, that's when that wall went up down at the end of the hallway.
Yeah.
Because, and I almost walked into that wall. That's how quickly it went up. I started to turn down to go down to what I thought was Chuck's office down the hall that used to exist.
Like Looney Tunes.
And there was a wall.
So my wife will...
Just a moment or two. So we wanted to get right back into things. We do have time to take a peek at traffic, see if that's causing any problem. We have 1 minute, Kathy. 1 minute. What's going on?
95 northbound is jammed from Cotman through to Woodhaven. That's an accident in the left lane. Southbound side heavy from Woodhaven through to Bridge, the Betsy Ross Bridge into Girard, the Vine westbound. Heavy the length, Schuylkill Expressway eastbound backing up 202 into Belmont Boulevard to the Vine, westbound Passyunk to the Vine City out to Gladwin. The Blue Route southbound at Conshohocken, the right shoulder blocked with a disabled vehicle. You're slow back to the mid-county tolls. Northbound side jams 95 to the Media bypass in New Jersey. 42 north heavy, the Black Horse Pike to 295. 55 northbound jams Deptford to 42. This traffic report brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Save on mom worthy flowers at Whole Foods Market. Prime members get 15 stem bunch of tulips for just $9.99 through May 16th while supplies last. Shop in-store or online. Terms apply. That's your traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
All right, thank you, Kathy. So in just a moment, we will hear the sounds of music. That will mean we're going live on Fox Good Day. Don't forget, we have at 8 your first chance to win $1,000 and MMRBQ tickets. So make sure you're here for concert cash as well. Here we go.
It's 7:55. That means it's time for Preston and Steve because it's Wednesday morning. And so we're talking about unethical life hacks. And we immediately thought of you two.
Yes, we're very unethical.
Came out wrong.
Yes, yeah.
I'll give you an example. You buy an engagement ring at a pawn shop and then you tell your lover that it was your grandmother's and it has sentimental value. That's just wrong.
That's not even a hack. That's just a lie.
Yeah.
That's just a flat out
You don't even
scam.
have to say that you could just buy it at the pawn shop and say that you got it at a jewelry store. I don't know why you have to lie and say that it was your grandmother's.
Because you're a
allowed
psychopath.
to?
Yeah, well, so it means it's from my grandmother. Oh, that's wonderful. But, what I looked at some of the lists, some of the items on the list and things like, I think, trying to trade in coupons past the point of, of cancellation on the coupons. I mean, I think there's a life hack that we all do that's unethical, which is regifting, I think. It's a kind of a basic one. And I do one I'm embarrassed about. I will go to banks I don't have accounts at, and I will withdraw money. I will wear a coat and I'll pat my chest. And some call that bank robbing.
That's unethical.
But that's
I would agree.
that's my hack. That's what I told the judge.
On a legit side, Casey saw an interesting one from Costco.
That's actually, I don't even think that's unethical. I think you're beating the system.
So rather than using, if you don't have a membership, which you paid, I don't know, $30, $40 for a year or something like that, you go in with a coupon and
gift card.
A gift card. I'm sorry, and then you were able to shop without having to pay for the membership.
That's actually pretty brilliant.
I like that, and that's a loophole.
Yeah, it's a loophole, not unethical.
Well, so a lot of these life hacks are exploiting unethical or exploiting loopholes that exist.
Yeah.
Right, Kathy? Do you
I love a loophole. Listen, I wouldn't call it unethical at all. If you are allowed to go into Costco and purchase the gift card and then they allow you to shop, that's not unethical.
Yeah, but on the list they included shoplifting as a life hack.
Not that.
As a hack. That's a hack.
Well, here's another one that I don't see as a problem. You buy the cheapest tickets online, and then you check something like StubHub, and you go sit in the empty seats that haven't been sold.
Or you could just wait. I've never checked. Sometimes I'll wait. It looks like nobody's coming.
And go down there.
Right.
Well, Alex, when you show up, don't they just usher you right up front? Just say, Holly's here. Let's make sure she's got.
I've seen that happen.
Oh, please. You're the one who gets that service.
I knew that happened. I knew it.
Listen to this.
Yes.
Alex will invite me to go to a Beyonce concert just because she thinks I can get her down to the front row.
Wow.
That's a life hack.
He loves Beyonce.
Well,
game in the system.
Well, but
That is a hack.
you were an early boyfriend of hers, so that's.
Speaking of that, do your listeners, are they into Taylor Swift, or is that too
I mean,
late?
they're going to be probably not the majority of people who listen to MMR, but if they aren't into it, they know someone who is, they have kids, they may have, they're somehow tied into, I think everybody's got a little Taylor in them,
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I'll see you out there tomorrow, or Friday night.
Okay. No, that you won't.
I guess I won't see her. No, not for myself. I did get some tickets for some friends.
Oh, right there.
Oh, yeah, and it hacked me off. They kept asking.
Wow. Is this your offer? Are you selling them to us?
Yeah.
Oh.
If I had some, I'd sell them to you.
All right, yeah.
For a lot of money.
Yeah, right.
See you next week. Hey,
All right,
Wednesday,
take care, guys.
Wednesday.
We'll see you later. So,
Is that delay still? Is that delay back? I'm sensing that it is.
yeah, it's always been there. We never really got rid of it, but there's a slight one there.
They were getting the wrap up.
So, Case, you think a lot of people listening are into Taylor Swift? Was that what you were saying?
I said that.
Oh, you
but
said that. Yeah.
I think what you said, Press, is accurate. There's a crossover. There are people that listen, and then also people that have kids that listen. And
It's also
osmosis.
It's an it concert. It is one of those ones that transcends format. It's
an event,
and that people are just going to go see.
Case, I don't know if this was on Crossing Broad, but somewhere yesterday I saw this possibility that Taylor Swift might ring the bell at the Sixers game tomorrow night.
I think they were lobbying for it.
Oh, were they? Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any chance that actually might happen?
I was going to say there's a lot of that. Like they want her to do a ton of different things. So a lot of people are saying, "Oh, hey, you're invited to do this. Come do that."
Yeah. Yeah, and not that she doesn't want to do all of them, but she probably can't do all of them.
Right,
so,
right.
All right, well, listen, it's 8 o'clock, and maybe Taylor will call in to win the concert cash.
MMR
Here's your concert cash keyword.
That'd be awesome if she did actually win. All right,
She's actually giving the concert cash.
All right, so the word is invest. INVEST. You have until 15 minutes after the hour to enter it. You can do that through the contest page, WMMR.com, through the app, the MMR app, or you can text it to the special contest short code number that we have set up, which is 45911. And one random entry wins $1,000 in our company-wide contest. All MMR winners get 2 tickets to the MMRBQ Saturday, September 16th. Tickets are on sale now. And winners get a call from Beasley, so make sure that you answer your phone. Contest rules at WMMR.com. For MMRBQ details, text FINALLY to 39333 for a link to the information. And it's sponsored by Meineke. Again, the word is invest. INVEST. Good luck.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Mulch Works of Aston. They have the highest quality mulch and topsoil that's manufactured on site, and they also have leaf compost, decorative stone, pavers, and more. Delivery or pickup for residential and commercial markets. You can visit mulchthis.com. We will start with this story. You probably saw these headlines. It's messed up. A Louisiana man been arrested after allegedly shooting a 14-year-old girl in the back of her head. Police were called to a home. The girl had been playing hide and seek.
Oh, my God.
This is early Sunday morning. It was in reference to a shooting. When deputies arrived, they say they found a girl with a gunshot wound in the back of her head. She survived, by the way. She's okay. It was minor injuries. But upon investigation in the incident, detectives say that several juveniles were playing hide and seek in the area and were hiding on the neighbor's property. Detectives spoke to David Doyle, the owner of the property. The 58-year-old told authorities that he saw shadows outside his home, went inside, got his firearm. Doyle told them that when he went back outside, he saw people running away from his property and began shooting at them, unknowingly hitting the girl. Let me say that again. They were running away from the house. The girl
So
was...
you shoot and then ask questions.
Yeah. The girl was admitted to a local hospital. She was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. I don't know if they're minor. I said that, but they're non-life-threatening. You can still have non-life-threatening injuries and have pretty severe injuries. He was arrested. Aggravated battery, aggravated assault, illegal discharge of a firearm as well. So hopefully he'll face the extent of the law. So here's something a little lighter, but still messed up. A woman said she had received $4,800 from a resort in Bali to help cover the cost of her injuries after being bitten by an elephant.
An elephant bit her? How did an elephant get in a room?
Beth and Les Bogar of New Hampshire spent over a year planning their trip of a lifetime to Bali. The couple was thrilled to be able to end their trip with a memorable experience getting up close with elephants at the Mason Elephant Park and Lodge.
Hey, stick your head in that elephant's mouth.
However, their dream took an abrupt turn after Beth said that she was hurt during a photo opportunity with an elephant. She had just finished swimming with the elephant and riding on its back when Beth reported that the elephant's trainer had her come over to take photos. She said that the trainer was instructing her on how to pose with the elephant. He suggested that she put her arm under the elephant's trunk. And she said, he said that he had been with the elephant for 24 years. He knew this elephant.
Uh-huh.
I just feel as though he was guiding me, and he let my arm get too close to his mouth, and I don't know how close too close was. Suddenly, Beth said her arm was pushed into the elephant's mouth, leaving her trapped. She said, I couldn't get my arm out. I could just hear cracking.
Oh.
And I started to panic. Although she was initially brought to the front office to ice her arm, eventually her injury began to swell. She was rushed to the hospital an hour away with her arm crushed. She had to have emergency surgery.
So an elephant has enough biting power to crush an arm like that?
Oh, yeah. The doctor was able to go in there. They put in plates, screws, and she said everything had to be put back together. It's going to be a long road.
I'm sorry. We're taking a picture. It's kind of a thing we do.
At first, the resort promised in emails to the family to investigate the incident and help to pay approximately half of the $10,000 medical bill. However, the family reported that the team has suddenly stopped responding to their calls and messages.
Of course.
She said they were assuring us all the
Never
while.
heard of her.
She said, don't worry. We have insurance. We can handle the situation. We'll get you taken care of.
I forgot. Everyone knows we don't forget, so I'm clearly lying.
The family,
and like in cartoons, I'm afraid of mice.
The family said they knew the risks coming into the experience and they don't blame the elephant at all. However, they are frustrated by the lack of action from the resort. She said, I just wish they would have been a little more helpful. And she said that she hopes people will think about all the risks before heading out on their next adventure.
Here's what I need you to do. Shut the F up.
So a foreign object came crashing through the roof of a home in New Jersey. It happened at a home located in Hopewell Township in Mercer County, where police say the metallic object struck through the roof and into the hardwood floor of the residence. Measured by 4 inches by 6 inches, the oblong-shaped object is believed to be a meteorite.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Police believe the possible meteorite could have been related to the recent Eta Aquarius meteor shower. The ranch-style home was occupied at the time of the incident, but there were no injuries. Officials have contacted several agencies to help positively identify the object, and an investigation is ongoing.
Are those things like radioactive?
So, that's a good question. Something comes through. I think you'd be well advised to let experts or people come in and check it first, before you put it down your pants.
Yeah. So a Middletown, Massachusetts police officer remains suspended after he allegedly attacked a teenage boy during a communion party while off duty. The fun, lighthearted event Saturday afternoon at the Old Erie restaurant turned into terror when the alleged violent attack unfolded. The mayor, Joe DiStefano, said, "My understanding is it was not a pretty scene." DiStefano said that the officer, who has 18 years on the force, assaulted a 14-year-old boy inside his wife's restaurant during the party for another police officer's child. He said it happened in front of dozens of frightened customers.
What set him off?
DiStefano said, "It's not something we're very proud of. I know the chief is very concerned about the actions of the officer."
We're very, very proud of this incident.
I don't know what happened. A witness said the officer was drunk and verbally threatened to assault the boy.
Communion.
Listen to this. Before he slammed the child's face into a brick wall.
Wow. What's next? Confirmation?
The witness says the officer punched the teen through a glass and, quote, whatever else was in reach, causing customers and staff to duck for cover.
Oh,
so
geez,
he was going crazy.
That's insane.
Officials confirmed that there are the allegations are under investigation. DiStefano says the officer is about 6'4" tall and that the boy appeared to be less than 5 feet tall.
I can take any kid in the place.
The boy suffered minor injuries and is physically okay despite the ordeal. The officer is suspended with pay under the rules of the department's contract until charges are filed. And so far, the officer has not been arrested for this. All right. And then we will wrap up with this one. In the French Alps, a culture war has broken out in a small village in the Savoie region of the Northern Alps, where 3 large frogs are threatened with being silenced.
No.
92-year-old Colette Ferry opened the door in the small village of Frontenay to 2 policemen recently who said that they would be taking away 3 amphibians that had taken up residence in her garden pond. The officer said that they were responding to a complaint by a neighbor unable to sleep because of the loud croaking that they were making at all hours. Ferry told them that while the fish in the pond were hers, the frogs were squatting. She said, "They're in and out of the water, playing with my fish. It's my entertainment."
They're just French frogs.
A man came here and...
Tell me, do you have frog's legs?
And
how do you put on your pants?
And said that...
Even we frogs enjoy that joke.
She was yelling at me. He was yelling at me saying he couldn't sleep and he had to work, but I did not expect the police, especially not for frogs. But there's always someone ready to complain about someone else, she added. So,
what was the thing you saw in the road? Was it a frog or a toad?
I think it was a frog.
Okay.
It made that noise. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So apparently, rural animal noise pollution is a regular case for police in the French Alps. So apparently there was most famously, Maurice the noisy rooster survived.
What a town!
Legal attempts to silence him in 2019 when a judge ruled he could continue crowing after thousands of people signed a Save Maurice petition.
So they have just noisy animals.
They have noisy animals.
Do they even carry guns in that town?
People complain about them. All right, and there you go. That is what I have in the bizarre file for you. All right, so little less than 5 minutes remain for you to enter the word invest. It's MMR's concert cash giveaway, and it's the final week of it, so do that now. The word is invest, INVEST. We want you to win. And while you're texting, keep in mind we have a secret text word today. Halcyon floats. We have a 30-minute sauna session and a 90-minute float. So you can text word secret to 39333 if you want to try to win that as well. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a minute. Hang out.
Preston and Steve.
On 93.3 WMMR.
He says, do you know how hard it is to get rid of bed bugs? What's the company going to do about it? And when? And then Preston sends a GIF, of like a bed bug jug band.
Yeah, playing music. And then Kathy fires back, that's not funny.
It's not funny.
I think I said F you to anybody who's not taking this seriously.
And then I think Nick said, read Joe's email. And then Kathy says, F the email, F the bed bugs, and F whoever doesn't think this is a big deal. Where are we going to do our show tomorrow? Clearly, we can't go to the station, and we need an on-site location.
My house is
She was
clean.
ready.
My house is clean.
Yeah. You're ready to set up shop somewhere else. to do a live
100%.
broadcast.
If you guys would have said, yeah, we have to do the show somewhere else, I would offer it up my house.
Oh, really? Oh, my God.
So it was one bug down the hall, right?
Yes!
Okay, I'm just asking.
Could you see Casey coming home? Diane wants to check him, so she takes out the blue light. Doesn't find any bed bugs, just semen
Bathed in
stains.
semen, yeah.
All over my face.
We're good.
The woman was saying that they have dogs that can do all sorts of that check for bugs that actually will.
Wait a minute. I thought you meant that bed bugs use dogs to travel
Well,
around.
yeah, take
Mush!
for a ride.
I thought you meant as piggybacking.
You've never seen the bed bug Iditarod?
No.
It's good. Yeah.
It must be majestic.
It's compelling.
Yeah, good dog, good dog. It's good dog. I love being out here in the open range. Yeah!
Let's see here. As Godzilla versus Kong, starring Millie Bobby Brown, performed much better than expected given the circumstances of COVID and so on, and the original movie King of the Monsters' lackluster box office performance. A threequel is expected with Adam Wingard set to direct again.
So he directed the most recent one.
I believe so, yeah.
Right.
So according to the Hollywood Reporter, the concept being floated is Son of Kong. Godzilla vs. Kong has crossed $400 million globally and is the top-grossing Hollywood-produced movie since the pandemic hit.
They're going to have to correct something now in both these, Son of Kong and Son of Godzilla. You gotta have a female Godzilla. Something. Who's he banging?
Yeah.
Where does this? Not unless they're asexual. They reproduce that way. I mean, there's only
It's Son of Kong.
Right, but there's also Son of Godzilla.
Oh, is there Son of Godzilla?
Yes, I'm sure that's in the works as well.
So maybe he could reproduce asexually. I don't know. We don't know much about Godzilla. He's kind of a mystery, but definitely not Kong.
Well, Godzilla
Definitely
could.
not.
No, he's more.
Yeah.
He's a simian.
He's a mammal.
Why do we assume that Kong is a man? Wouldn't
We
see
know it. He's all man.
Well, I don't know.
Wouldn't he be Queen Kong?
Yeah, he'd be Queen Kong.
Okay, fair point. But I didn't see any low-hanging fruit, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, they left that out. In fact, can you on apes, or do they? I've never.
Is there junk external?
That's a good question.
Apparently, it's pretty small. I remember that we talked one point about animal genitalia.
Yeah, but even on Kong, it would be big enough.
You're right. But
it'd be the size of
proportionally
a VW, you know.
Yeah,
it'd be the size of me.
Be as tall as Steve.
I want to see King Dong. I want to see it.
There actually was a movie called King Dong.
Of course, there was.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's a rom-com. Like he's romancing this lady, and that's about how they have the baby together.
Oh, the next Kong
the
movie?
next one, yeah.
4 weddings and a King Kong.
That could be something like that. We'll have to see. An inspiring story.
Giant ape walked into her life.
All right. So anyhow, we will see if that comes to pass or not. But
how big his junk is, and whether there's a Mrs. Kong.
Son of Kong. We'll have to see.
What a goddamn day today. Sit down. I'll make you some dinner. I'm fighting these things that are apparently prehistoric, and yet I've never seen them, and I'm on an island. You'd think I would want to cross. I don't even know why they evolved that way. They're like snake things with. Just give me a beer.
Yeah, just think about it tomorrow. Just,
you want to do a little grab ass?
Yeah. Khloe Kardashian.
Let's take this upstairs.
Kong! What are you doing?
Just a little finger stuff.
Oh my God!
There's no little finger stuff in the
Oh, it's bigger than my penis.
No, it's perfect.
A lot of gorillas are like that.
It's okay, baby. It happens. No, not to me. It's those dumb lizard things that I met today.
You can't stop thinking about it.
I'm just distracted.
Forget about the lizard things. Come upstairs.
Let's have some oysters.
Okay. Should I move on to Khloe Kardashian now? Okay, thank you.
Same size.
I have the floor now.
Maybe that. There you go. King Kong marries Khloe Kardashian.
Today, it was, I guess, 25 years ago today or recently within the last week or so.
I think it's today. It's a magical day, or at least a magical time. You can sort of feel it in the air.
Yeah, you even look outside.
Yeah.
The trees are swaying, I think, in honor of the fact that it is the 25th anniversary of the movie Twister.
Yeah. A legendary film.
Oh, my God.
Legendary, horrible film.
I remember looking forward to going and see. I took my mom. She was visiting in town, and I took her to go see the movie. And the big hook were the effects.
That's it.
At the time, the effects were kind of groundbreaking. The CGI depicting these tornadoes.
And they were amazing for the time. They did a great job.
Yeah. It was such a stupid movie.
The whole concept.
It was just piss poor.
Yeah. The rival storm chasers.
Yeah.
There's the corporate storm chasers and the more grassroots in it for the love of the storm. The whole background story on Linda Hunt's character, Helen Hunt's Joe Harding.
Not Linda.
Yeah.
Very, very different.
Yeah. So the Helen Hunt's story about her dad being sucked away in a twister while they were in the storm cellar, and she's always had this love-hate relationship with the storms. But it's horrible. But again, at that time, the effects-wise, you'd never seen anything like that.
No, effects-wise. So here's my vivid memory of this movie. Because if it was 25 years ago today, I was just getting done my junior year of college. I was a lifeguard, and I was at my boss, the guy who owned the company. I was at his house getting all the supplies ready to clean out pools. We did apartment pools. And he talked like this. Like, his voice was like this, right? And so it's me and my little brother, and we're power washing all this stuff in his driveway. And he goes, I saw Twister last night, and those tornadoes were real. And he said that. Those tornadoes were real. He must have said that like a half a dozen times. My little brother, it was me and him, my younger brother, sorry. It was me and him. And so we will, I mean, even 25 years later, if the word tornado comes up in conversation, he and I will say, those tornadoes were real.
What was that guy's name?
I don't want to say his name.
What's his first name?
What was his first name? Last name?
You just know his last name?
Joe.
Okay.
Let's go with Joe.
Hey, Joe, how were those tornadoes?
Those tornadoes were real.
I love that story so much.
Was he suggesting that they had incorporated? What was his point? Was that they were not created for the movie, that they were corralling tornadoes and using them in the film?
I think what he meant to say was those tornadoes looked real.
Okay.
But he said that they were real, and he had like a real affinity towards just weather. He loved weather.
He was a weather guy.
Yeah, he loved weather.
It was like Philip Seymour Hoffman in the movie.
Well, I mean, listen, he owned a pool supply and lifeguarding company, so weather was definitely.
What I really love is weather.
Yeah. Weather's important to that line of work. Absolutely.
Yeah. Those tornadoes are real.
Oh, my God.
I wonder if my
That's
brother's
great.
texting me.
It's almost kind of Don Nazi.
Yeah.
I tell you. Wait, I just said Don Nazi.
Very different.
Don Nazi.
Citizens of Mayberry, I find nice and gloomy.
Oh, my God. I didn't even mean to do that. Wow. Okay.
Bring Floyd in here. I have something for him to do. We got to talk about this Jewish thing.
All right. But you guys would be surprised how many people are texting in on how this is their favorite movie.
Yeah.
Or that it's their
I don't even get why
the
we're
best
talking
movie.
about it.
It's the 25th anniversary.
We're
Because
talking
those
about it
tornadoes
because-
were real.
Who cares?
I mean, come on, Cap.
It was
It was real.
By the way, when Casey says that, he puts his hands by his sides.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like he pushes them into his sticks his elbows out and goes, "It was real.
Those tornadoes were real."
Primal Fear. Ed Norton has them as a very diabolical character, right? I remember he's completely psychopathic.
A good twist.
It's a twist.
Too.
Yeah.
It's a twister.
It was
Those tornadoes were real.
Dude. I can't believe we just met this guy.
I
Just
can't
now.
believe I never took.
You've never. I've never brought it
I
up.
love that.
Dude, that guy, man. He lived in this beautiful, huge home. I'm like, how the hell? Like looking back on it, I'm like, how the hell did you? You just own a pool company. You know what I mean? Anyway,
there you go. Yeah.
All right, well, good on him.
My family money is real.
I want to get movie reviews from that guy.
Yes.
Other movies
from Joe.
Yeah.
I love it. After grieving her husband Prince Philip's death, Queen Elizabeth is back to her royal duties. On Tuesday, she made her first official appearance following Philip's funeral. And she was seen... Oh, grinning. I thought it said grinding.
I thought it said gurning.
She's gurning.
No, what's this?
I'm sucking my chin into my mouth.
Wait, do we have the bell? It's the gurning.
Her Royal Majesty will now suck her chin into her mouth as part of the royal gurning. Her Royal Majesty will contort her face by sucking her chin up into her mouth.
If you're not familiar with gurning, it's when people like take their false teeth out and suck their lips into their mouth.
If you know what bitter beer face is.
Yeah, that's gurning. So she was seen gurning during two virtual audiences with Windsor Castle. So yeah,
Prince Charles will gurn simply by standing there.
No, it was grinning is the word I read incorrectly. So.
By the way, this very bell came from England.
No.
Really?
Yes, it did. I ordered it on Amazon, and it came, and there was the parcel information said from England. So maybe it's the one the Queen uses.
It might be. Might be.
Where's my goddamn bell?
The gurning.
I sold it on Amazon.
From 93.3 WMMR.
Thanks, Kath. Real quick, a couple of mentions. I have the Walk a Mile in Her Shoes event coming up this Saturday. Information at WMMR.com. You want to join the team? Love to have you on board. Going to be at the Pfizer campus in Phoenixville, and the walk is the whole thing is 9 to 1, but the walk's at like 11, and we're gonna have a good time. So that's this Saturday. Also this Saturday, my buddy Brent Porsche is going to be at another place where I usually am at Dell Auto's 48th anniversary sale. So he's going to be there from noon to 2 at Dell Toyota in Thorndale, and he's going to have MM barbecue tickets.
Nice.
And also food. They're doing a pig roast with food from Bridgeport Rib House. So make sure you stop by. You can go to the events page, WMMR.com, and find out about all these things. And then, there's also this little thing. Taylor Swift is playing this weekend. 3 consecutive nights at the Link. Only Bruce Springsteen has done 3 nights.
Oh, wow, really?
And his weren't even consecutive.
It's insane. I mean,
you can't come by and get a ticket.
Wait, Marissa's looking at me weird. Are they not consecutive nights?
Connor and I were just chatting. I think it was just at Citizens Bank that Bruce was at.
Oh, okay. So
Still South Philly, still a whole lot
Okay,
of
here you go.
people,
Only the
but-
second 3-night stadium residency.
There you
locally.
go.
All right, there you go.
Still impressive.
Yeah.
Guys,
3 nights.
Even more impressive, really.
I drove by last night. I went to see Guardians of the Galaxy. I was in Cherry Hill, and on my way home, the lights were on, and they were already setting up. Like, I think this is a 24-hour, setup.
Oh, absolutely. It's a staggeringly huge mechanism that brings her concert to town.
I'm fine with Taylor Swift because I know that she doesn't have a lot to do with a lot of the ins and outs. She just worries about what's going on stage. But like, There's so many aspects of these shows that just leave such a bad taste in my mouth. One of them is I saw a picture of what they said was like an obstructed view, right? So these seats were like $1,000 a ticket. And you're essentially behind the stage, and it's not like it's open behind the stage. There's a giant wall.
Oh my God!
You can only
so you're just listening.
You're basically just
watching TV.
Yeah,
My friends did that at Bruce. They waited till because they couldn't get tickets, and then they waited till the last minute to get tickets, and that was all that they could get. And they went and they basically were like, "Yeah, we just listened to the music."
So obstructed view, $1,000 a ticket. Like can't see the concert, and still $1,000 a ticket.
Steve, I'm telling you, like the obstructed view, like this is, and I'm holding up a piece of paper. Okay, so this is the behind the stage, and then the stage kind of juts out like a wiener, like that. And the seats are like essentially like right here. So
you really can't see a lot.
You can only see her if she's on that runway, like all the way up in the front. And and those are easily $1,000.
I was trying to get tickets.
I
really
know.
wanted to go, like even from the very beginning, and then it went crazy. And I was like, all right, well then I feel like I'm gonna like take from some kid that wants to go. And I thought leading up to I thought now would be like, all right, there's actually tickets available. People are trying to get rid of their tickets, or they bought too many or whatever. Nothing. There's nothing.
Well, so I have a friend of mine, Kath, who paid the premium before Christmas to make sure her kids got Taylor Swift tickets for Christmas. Paid, I don't know, somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,500.
Well, that whole process to begin with was a nightmare. There was all sorts of issues and things that were going on, but she managed to get them.
Yeah, she managed, but she got them on StubHub. She didn't.
So she didn't buy the actual.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she just got, I think, 3 days ago, got word from StubHub that the sale, in fact, it got canceled and did not go through.
Got canceled
because. So here's the deal. Like, so I have my issues with StubHub as well, and I have season tickets for the Sixers, and I'm telling you this: when this season's over, I will never ever use StubHub again, ever, never ever.
All right.
So when I sell my tickets, I get an alert that my tickets have been sold. Then I have to go to where I got my tickets from, and then I transfer the tickets. And I try and do that as soon as I possibly can. What happened with this girl is she never got the tickets sent to her. So the money got taken out of her account, but the tickets never got transferred. And what we think ended up happening was the people that sold her tickets ended up getting more money from somebody else and ended up selling those tickets to either that or...
It's conjecture, but that sounds feasible.
Yeah, so StubHub, so when...
I'd freak out.
I know. I made a similar mistake where I accidentally sold the tickets to two different people, and that was my mistake, and I ended up eating the money for that, and StubHub made it right for those people, though. Not only did I get penalized the money, but StubHub ended up making sure that those people did get tickets in the house, and they're not doing that for my friend.
You guys
This
remember
sucks.
when if you bought a ticket and tried to sell it for more than face value, it was illegal?
Yeah.
It was illegal.
I mean, like, very illegal. People would actually go to jail for stuff like that, especially if they were selling in bulk, like they were taking it on themselves to buy 100 tickets or try to do that. And you had to really scam and really work it to get those tickets. Now it's a business unto itself.
I don't know if this can ever be replicated, but it seemed fair to me 20 or 30 years ago when you had to stand in line, and if you got there early, you got better access to tickets. You would go to West Coast Video or go to Strawbridge's or whatever. And listen, I know we're well beyond that. I know the cat's out of the bag. I understand how the market works. But it just seems to me like the system has gotten so out of whack, so expensive, that people are getting screwed no matter what. And Casey, the story that you just shared, like you hear that countless times over and over again.
Let me read a couple of these texts coming in. It says, I paid $346 for Swift first level. Wow. That's a steal.
Listen, there are people who got tickets.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Says, my friend sold his Swift tickets for $5,940.
Oh, my God.
Here's another one that says, not a huge fan, but wanted to see the show. Cheapest last-minute tickets, obstructed view, $1,295 plus fee. This says, our Texas Roadhouse waitress told us that she is a Swiftie and is going to all 3 nights for $750 total. Got all the tickets at pre-sale with 8 hours of trying. So another one says, my son is skipping his college baccalaureate mass on Friday night to go to the Taylor Swift concert.
Jeez. It's huge.
And Rowan apparently is having a Swiftie laser show for $3 if you have an obstructed view and can't see her anyway. Wow. Okay.
Listen, a friend of mine got her daughter and her friends tickets. When they went on sale, got them face value. They're up pretty high, but got them for $95 a ticket. So there are people out there that did get them.
Right. Well, obviously, yeah.
But now trying to get them, there's no tickets available, and the ones that are, like, you don't even know if they're real or not. Like
The counterfeiting game is on high.
A friend and I were talking to this guy, and we both hit him up for the tickets to see what the response would be like. This was over Facebook. He had a legit Facebook account.
3 testicles tickets.
Said he was from Lansdale. Had a bunch of friends. Like it looked like a legit account.
All right.
And there was even like a mutual friend with somebody. So we were like, okay. And we were talking to him, and we got the same answer. Pretty cold. No. Like I even brought up the scam and said like, hey, I just need to verify that this isn't a scam or whatever. And he didn't address it and just was like, tickets will be sent through Ticketmaster.
Yeah, I got burned from StubHub a couple weeks ago. What I figured out is if you post tickets on StubHub, you don't actually have to submit the tickets to StubHub and all of the accounts. So if you are have a really big event like this Taylor Swift thing or whatever, you will see the same seats posted on TickPick, StubHub, all of the different resale things. So I went to the Phillies game. I had just bought standing room tickets. They were like $35. And I got to the gate, and it gives you a little notice that the tickets have already been forwarded. And I was like, no.
I had that problem with D-Picks.
So, but unfortunately, at the gate, nobody can help you. And it was to the point where it was later in the game. It was early in the season, and we had to literally walk all the way around to the very, very front. And they weren't everybody knew what was going on, but nobody would admit it. They kind of were just
How can you have
from StubHub, what were they? And so what it was the person probably sold them on a different platform and didn't pull them off StubHub.
How does that happen? How are you across multiple platforms selling the same tickets?
Steve, because you don't have to submit the tickets. If you had to submit the tickets to the platform, this would be fine.
Crazy.
But Casey, I've done the same thing. I've sold Eagles tickets, and they're literally sold before I can even go back and edit it. And so you're not even alerted that they've sold sometimes for minutes, an hour later. So if you put them on multiple platforms, you're screwing somebody.
Yep.
It's kind of crazy.
I think there needs to be a more efficient way of doing it.
Steve, isn't that like an FCC violation? If you're putting it one place, it needs to be there. You need to verify it.
It's like when they say conveniently located. Sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
Well, with these Swift tickets, everybody's trying to figure out whether or not the tickets that somebody's posting is a scam or not. But my thought was, in the end, I was like, this guy doesn't have a friend he can sell them to. If I had Taylor Swift tickets and I couldn't go, I could call 100 people and they would know I could meet them in person, hand them tickets, or forward them the email. So I was like, in the end, I'm like, there's no way that this guy
doesn't
have someone he can sell to.
Are these?
No, I know.
Is this unique to Philadelphia? I mean, I know.
I don't think so.
Well, I remember reading stories. I think we talked about it on air where people go across overseas to go see Beyonce, and so can you go see Taylor Swift in a market that's not Philadelphia for less?
I had a couple of friends that went to, I think it was Nashville, and I think it was still a hard ticket, Nick, but they were able to get it and not pay $1,500 for an obstructed view.
By the way, somebody wants me to mention this. Says, please let people know my friend is throwing a Swiftie before party tomorrow night at the TLA.
Wow.
Called Swimo.
Swimo.
Hey, I'm doing a Swiftie before party tomorrow night.
What are you doing?
Swan sweat.
No, it's just it's a party out in Downingtown at a little boutique on 30. I'll be there with her, and they're doing a Swiftie party.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you into her? Are you a Taylor Swift fan?
I've loved Taylor Swift since the very beginning. I like her music. I think her show is probably amazing. I just liked her as a person and a lot of things that she did. And so, I've
It's
always
just the
liked her.
tickets that are hard to come by.
You're not going to the show. You're just going to the Swiftie party.
I would love to go to the show. I can't find tickets.
Okay.
Well, no, you can. They're only $1,400 to sit
For
behind the
obstructed view.
stage.
Yeah.
And you don't know if they're real. No thanks. I can't do that.
I mean, it's a win-win.
Oh, man. There's a lot of texts coming in concerning StubHub and being burned by it and all that stuff. So
That sucks. Remember years ago, and they since corrected it, but, the counterfeiters always find a way, but the Super Bowl tickets,
there you go.
Yeah.
Here's a great idea. Somebody texted and said, the stadium is hiring. get a job, work the Swift concert, and then
Wait, you know
done.
who's going to see Taylor Swift? Oh, I guess I can mention it. I think is Matt Cord, because his niece works there and she has to have a chaperone, and so he's going as her chaperone.
That's a good hack. We were talking about hacks.
Yeah, there's
earlier.
your hack. Just get a job where you want to see the show.
Hang on, let me go to Aaron because Aaron's husband got tickets. He won them actually. Hi, Aaron. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's
You
up,
guys
Aaron?
rock.
Thanks.
Yeah, my husband unknowingly entered a raffle on Barstool Sports, and he won 3 club tickets for Friday night.
What? How did he unknowingly enter a contest?
Well, he said it was just like it was. I guess he was on his sportsbook page or whatever, and just like clicked on it and was like, "Yeah, whatever. I'll submit to this contest."
Oh, so he did. He didn't unknowingly. He entered it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I guess he,
Yeah.
But he's not a Swiftie.
Yeah,
consciously.
I ordered a sandwich at Primo's and they won 3. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. So, but he didn't care that much, but he won. So, are you going, Aaron?
Yes, because he was like he didn't. It didn't really matter to him.
Right.
He was like, "Oh, that'd be a good Mother's Day gift for my wife."
Yeah.
Do you know how many?
I'm excited. Like, are you kidding me? Like, he told me, and I was like, "You're joking. Like, this is not a funny joke." Like,
Do you know how many people are just dying hearing this right now?
I know, and I honestly, in the beginning, I was like, I don't know if I'm worthy. Like, Kathy was almost saying, like, I honestly didn't get tickets in the beginning because I felt like there were Swifties who were just, dying to go. And
they're bigger fans than me, and let them go. That type of guilt.
When you go,
I'm like,
when you go, keep leaning over and going, "What song is this? Who is this again?"
Yes.
No. I'll definitely know the songs.
Well, have a great time. Have a great time. That's fantastic.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah.
Yes,
Wow,
I mean,
Club Box. That's awesome.
That's the thing. The people that are going to these concerts are not filthy rich, tons of money people.
No,
you know what I mean?
no.
These are people that are
Hardworking Swifties.
Yeah, they're bucking up for a bucket list item. Essentially,
The price of these tickets could many people may have had to decide: do we go on vacation over the summer, or do we go to see the Taylor Swift concert?
Most definitely.
And then to find out that you might have been screwed out of the tickets.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends that are going because of their daughters. Like so I have a friend who she forked out the money. She spent, I think, $1,500 and got them tickets, and it was for her kids. This was like they really wanted to do it, and she's like, "All right, I have it, I saved it, and this is what I'm using it on."
Rochelle took Caroline when they were just a kid, and that might have been like the 22 or the Red album or when, I don't remember which one.
Hell.
But it was before. It was still a big deal to get the tickets then. But I mean, now it's just blown up. Ridiculously.
I got to see what's so great about this concert. And Kath, I'm with you. Like I like Taylor Swift. I'm not a Swiftie, but but I can't see spending that kind of money on
for one. All right, what was the concert that you saw that you could see now in retrospect that you could?
Paul McCartney.
All right.
Yeah.
How high, knowing the experience you had, how high would you go ticket price wise?
Generally, I don't like stadium shows, right? I prefer, I'm of the no roof, no rock kind of vibe and mindset, but I'd never seen Paul before, and this was at the ballpark, and I didn't mind paying for tickets because I wanted to get up front. I wanted to get good seats.
Right.
And so luckily, because of this industry, I was able to buy tickets that were expensive, but to me, that was totally worth it because I wasn't upstairs at the
I
stage.
gotcha.
I would, the people that are
couple
paying,
grand would you pay if you had to pay?
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but for Paul, sure. But like,
for Paulie, sure, no.
Paulie Shore.
No way.
Right.
No way.
That guy's, he's the
Maybe he'll
weasel.
bring back the weasel.
But like, if you're paying top dollar to sit upstairs at Taylor Swift or Paul McCartney or whatever floats your boat, to me, that's just not worth it.
The most I've bucked up 2 shows. One of them was Paul McCartney at Wells Fargo Center, so indoor, which I was more than happy to pay for, and I took the whole family. And then the Police reunion tour. Those were ones where I'm like, okay,
have to.
I will absolutely pay a premium price. Called in some favors because I don't go to shows that often, and sometimes we do have it's part of the business. You can get a
consideration,
good deal, consideration if things are available, and I did that, and so I don't regret a penny that I spent on those. And they were expensive, very expensive. But I was like, okay, guys, we're gonna splurge.
And at the end of it, after the assessment comes in of the show, worth every penny?
Worth every penny.
There you go.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't, unless I knew, like, if it was like, and I knew for a fact, this is going to be Fish's last concert ever. Okay, maybe I would do that.
How much would you pay? I mean, I know hypothetical. Don't worry about having to actually pay it, but would you go like $5,000?
Yeah, would you pay $5,000 for a ticket?
Depends on where. If it's in Philadelphia, like if I was also getting a vacation out of it, like if,
just for the show, local.
Where would you draw the line?
$1,000 probably.
You'd stop at 1,000.
I'd stop at 1,000.
I think I might be like that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, you're just incinerating the money. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to. It seems too ridiculous.
Would you have to lie to Diane about what you were spending the money on?
No.
Okay.
No.
I need a medicine.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Dr. Mike
die.
told me I need a specific enzyme, and it's from a company called PHISH.
Yes.
Let me see here. We got a bunch of calls.
A company called PHISH.
Wait a minute. Anthony texted in about the show at the TLA. He wants to check in. Hi, Anthony.
Hey, what's going on, Preston?
Yeah, but all right. So I mentioned the show for you. What is it, Swimo?
Yeah, so Swifto, it's a Swiftie party for emo Swifties. It's a 21 and over event at the TLA tomorrow night, and it's a hell of a time. A friend of mine runs it, so I just want to let you guys know if you guys pass the word along.
Okay.
And it's Swimo.
Yes, it's Swimo, the Swimo experience.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, good. You probably has there been a good response to it so far?
Yeah, so far we rescheduled from the last one, but this one it's gonna be better for the day before the Taylor does her Philadelphia run of the Eras Tour.
All right. Okay.
All right, cool. All right. Well, thank you, Anthony. Have fun.
Yeah, man. Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll see you. So here's a couple of Marissa found the other Taylor Swift pre-parties. There's a Swiftadelphia pop-up shop. Social House Eatery and Cafe will serve Swiftie-themed drinks like strawberry latte called Lover and a caramel and coconut latte named Fearless. That's till May 14th. Then there is that's at 2100 South Street. Xfinity Live has the Swiftie Drag Brunch and Tay-Gates. So Saturday at Xfinity Live, they're celebrating with a special brunch hosted by Philly Drag Mafia and Brittany Lynn.
Wow.
And there's going to be
pretty elaborate.
performances of Swift hits and so on. So they'll be doing it in drag, which is a lot of fun. The South Philly venue is also hosting a pregame party in partnership with Le Petit Fête, a pop culture-based obsessed events company, the 12th through the 14th. And even if you don't have a ticket, you can join the Tay-Gates, which is the pre-show dance parties each night to compete with the DJ-themed cocktails, photo booths, costume contests, and more. There's the Taylor Takeover at Soul Cycle, Rittenhouse Square and Ardmore locations for May 7th through the 14th. There's the Let's Make the Friendship Bracelets Workshop.
Ooh.
You can make a cute beaded friendship bracelet with your friends.
OMG, I love it.
As you listen to Swift albums at the Bach building on May 10th. The Mifflin Tavern Taylor Swift Quizzo is happening.
All right.
Nixon.
Nixon, all right. Hang on.
Test your Swift knowledge at Mifflin Tavern's Taylor Swift Name That Tune, May 10th, and Quizzo on May 11th. Then there's Latchkey. It's an independently owned vinyl record and retail store on East Passyunk Avenue, offering a Taylor Swift concert pregame on May 12th from 5 to 7. Then you have Candlelight, a tribute to Taylor Swift.
Oh, my God.
Listen to a string quartet as they play All Too Well, Lover, and Enchanted as the glow of candle lights fill World Cafe Live. Really? Really?
Wow.
I've never heard of pre-parties like this.
It's a Taylor Swift thing.
I know.
So
it is?
Yeah.
Because I've never heard of this for other...
For huge acts,
multiple.
Did you see anything like this for say like Springsteen or
U2 when they would come down and do the gigantic shows?
Do you get anything, or even the other pop like Beyonce? Does Beyonce rank this whole?
I don't know. But is Beyonce's ticket this hard to get?
But
I don't know. But
the peripheral business.
But different parties, different actual parties. I didn't know this.
They're doing Swatter at the Mutter Museum.
How long has this been going on?
I don't know what like the pre-parties.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just know it's a thing. Like a lot again. Like my friends with their kids, the ones that are not going, are all doing some sort of Taylor Swift party. I thought, at least for them, it was because they couldn't get the tickets. So like we're still gonna get in on this action.
I don't remember stuff like Madonna.
Nope.
Like I'm trying to think of like pop culture icon types.
I'm right
Madonna,
with you.
Spice Girls, things like that were just all the rage for a while. I mean, she's had Taylor Swift has had a longer staying power than like Spice Girls and stuff like that.
You just reeled off like 10 or 12 legit party events that are associated tangentially.
I'm not even done.
You're not even done.
The Dutch, in honor of our Berks County native, the popular East Passyunk restaurant will serve $15 Swifty libations.
Swifty libations?
From the 12th
My
to the
head is
14th.
reeling.
Wait, and they're $50?
15.
Oh, okay.
Assembly Rooftop Lounge. You can pop by the rooftop
I love
cocktail
that place.
bar
Yeah, me
and
too.
lounge during Swift weekend for a themed cocktail.
All right.
What kind of activities are there?
What's the Assembly Rooftop Lounge? Is that at the
Logan.
hotel.
Logan? Yeah, that's a great
At
place.
the top, like it overlooks the Ben Franklin Parkway
It's a
and the
great bar.
museum.
And Logan Square. Yeah, it's really cool. So they have some various drinks for you to have.
Activities?
And then
Cocktails and activities. It's like a dream come true.
Oh my God. Hold it on a Target roof and I'll be thrilled.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
I think Kathy had one of those full body
Absolutely.
orgasms.
Full body
we were
orgasm.
talking about the other day.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I've never felt that before.
And then the last thing on the list is Shake It Off, Taylor Night Plus Dance Party at Underground Arts on May 27th. May 27th, that's well after the show.
That's Jose's birthday.
That's why she's doing it.
Philly-based event promoter Riot Nerd wants you to shake it off with Taylor Swift night at the Underground Arts. The 5-hour party's got all things Swift.
That's wild. Think of all the business being done that has actually nothing to do. Obviously that she's here, but it's not. And none of these need to be sanctioned, right? They're just
No, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Or you can go to Boutique on 30 in Downingtown tomorrow at 5:30, and you can get your Tay Swift outfit.
Oh, is that where you're going to be?
That's where I'll be.
Okay, that's tomorrow.
Yes.
Are you going to shake it off?
I mean, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It's just remarkable to me that she has 3 sold out nights at the Link, because it's 70,000, right?
Yeah.
Each night, and I mean, just to do that alone is impressive, and then everything that surrounds it.
And not only that, the drama that surrounds the lyrics to her songs, and the people that get bandied about in the conversations of who this might be about and what happened.
Are you hating on Tay-Tay right
now? No.
Oh, he's pro-Tay.
I'm not hating on it. I'm like, it's just. It's wild.
It is.
I'd rather
really
insult the mob than go.
Steve, I had
the Tay Swift army.
I know.
Is ruthless.
I shared an opinion, just an opinion, mind you, about the thing that happened with Scooter Braun a few years ago, and I was just trying to see it from that side of the fence. Boy, did I get assulted for that.
Jeez, forget. Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
I'd rather call the Medellin cartel a bunch of pussies.
Which you're not doing.
I'm not doing. I'm using that as a point of
Hang on.
MS-13.
Ryan went to the candlelight show thing, so I guess this has been done before. Hi, Ryan. Good morning.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. You're on the air, bud. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you were talking about the candlelight, and it's interesting because you were wondering if if this is just a Taylor Swift thing. And I actually brought my daughter, and it was phenomenal. First off, the musicians are well trained. I mean, from Juilliard, and very good at their instruments. And they did a great job. It was funny. It was fun. We had a great night, and they do it for all kinds of bands. All kinds of covers, Beatles and stuff, and they do it across the nation in lots of cities. So it's great.
So this is a touring group?
Yeah. What they do is they get local musicians from that city.
Oh.
So, like, if they're doing it in Portland, they just get local musicians from there. And most of these musicians are in some sort of larger orchestra.
And so you are you holding candles like at a midnight
vigil?
mass or something, or?
No, but it's good. I mean, they literally have thousands of candles surrounding you. It's a really cool ambiance and really fun to do it. Yeah, it was great to do with my daughter. It's a good family.
They don't do that for Richard Marx.
Yeah.
No, not anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
I would do it if it was.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. So that's on May 23rd. So that's after the fact. But
I guess it's good.
Okay.
Somebody said we should call it Kathy Swiftivities.
Swiftivities.
God, I
Kathy
love it.
Swiftivities.
Oh man.
Are you a Swiftie?
I kind of want to steal the bracelet making too. That's like, God, that's right up my alley.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's already capitalizing on her stuff anyway. You might as well get in on the steal.
Oh my God, I'm having a full body orgasm.
Why didn't I think of that?
This is that's crazy. I can't think of anything in the past other than big sporting events that have taken place when when any of our teams get close to a championship, then you'll start to see these pregame parties and things like that. But
Exactly. No, I've never heard of anything on an entertainment level from an entertainer, a concert, a band coming to town that generated this much peripheral action.
Yeah. Go ahead and shake it off.
I do not endorse this.
No, we have nothing to do with the statement you're about to hear.
You were on your own, buddy. On your own. The Preston Island over here. Go ahead.
What'd you want to say?
It was that day when Preston realized he'd made the biggest mistake of his life.
Preston at WMMR.com.
I don't like the way she throws her head around when she's playing the piano.
Oh, my God.
Get the hell out of
They're all leaving.
Unbelievable.
Casey's left the studio.
We need to go to another studio.
I never
I think she overdoes
Nick, can you
it.
call Bill?
Yeah, I'm going to let him know. Probably should get some security.
Listen, man, we're celebrating our 25th anniversary, and you guys now you're gonna abandon me.
No, yes.
Yeah.
You're on your own, buddy.
You might want to call in the reinforcements on this one, Preston.
Hang on, I'm going to go to, tonight at 7 o'clock, tonight at 7 o'clock, tonight at 7 o'clock, tonight at 7 o'clock.
That's a distress call.
We need
Tonight at 7 o'clock. Tonight at 7 o'clock. Tonight at 7 o'clock.
Distress call.
Oh, my God. Careful.
One more time. Tonight at 7 o'clock. Tonight at 7 o'clock.
I'll tell you this.
Yes.
She is a talented musician.
Oh, my God.
obviously. She's
super talented.
Pretty phenomenal. And you know how like Dolly Parton speaks glowingly of. So I get that. It's not for everybody, but
I forgot who it was in an earlier stage of her career. There was a heavy metal guitarist who got on board as her touring guitarist.
Oh, yeah.
In between bands. So she has really talented musicians. She's obviously a very gifted songwriter. You can't do that by accident. That's crafted. She makes sure that those songs are. She's super talented as far as songwriting goes.
Initially, more country, was she not?
Yeah, very
it's
much
so funny how he's kissing up now after he said what he said.
Shut up. All I said was I don't like the way she
realized he'd made a terrible mistake. He backpedaled furiously, but the damage had been done.
throws her head around when she plays piano.
I saw her sing the national anthem at the Phils game in 2008 at the World Series, and Matt Cord introduced her at a Sixers game.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was for the national anthem as well.
Yeah.
And you said her voice made Whitney Houston sound like Harvey Firestein.
Yeah. I was like, man, who is this? Carl Lewis?
Hang on, wait. I want to go to Lexi. I've already pulled Lexi up. Hi, Lexi. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, what's up, Lexi?
So I just wanted to call and say that I work at Bar 13 in Delaware, and we're known for, heavy metal, alternative, all the hard rock stuff, and we're even having a Tay-Tay party.
You're having a Taylor's.
A Tay-Tay.
So what kind of party is it, Lexi?
We're we're gonna have Taylor Swift music, dancing, drink specials, all that fun stuff.
Wow. So and you expect to get a turnout?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Because
Wow.
we do pop music on like Tuesdays, and like, so I think we'll still get a good turnout.
Do you think that the metal and all crowd kind of every once in a while will fess up and admit that they're Taylor Swift fans?
Probably. I mean, maybe we'll even have some metal mixes. Who knows? That could be fun.
Right? Why not? That's pretty wild. All right. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that'll be on Friday, the June 23rd.
All right.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
So these continue throughout the year. This is
I
not
guess they
just
do.
surrounding the show.
You would
here.
assume it's only during tax season.
Hang on, I didn't get a chance to read all this. It says, my fiance is a major Swiftie and gets angry whenever I make anything close to a negative comment. She's camping out over the weekend at the link, and I said that her and the other Swifties are like juggalos with their dedication.
I are.
And he says the closest we were to breaking up. That's funny.
Wow.
All right, well, anyhow, wow, it's a huge deal.
And if you have tickets, have fun.
Yeah, if you were lucky enough to get tickets, and I hope you didn't have to pay $1 gazillion for them. All right, we need to take a break. We have a couple of guests coming up. We're going to talk to Henry Winkler.
Yeah.
And then right after Henry Winkler, Emilio Estevez. So
very cool.
A couple of cool people. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve. 93.3 WMMR.
Named Cadence, which is a BYOB on Girard Avenue, was named the best new restaurant by Food and Wine.
That's a super well respected journal in the world of the culinary happenings.
Yeah.
And so this is a big honor.
But in the order, you have Cadence is number one in Austin, Texas. Suerte. Frenchette in New York. Conby in Los Angeles. Kumiko in Chicago. These are all one-word names.
Manny's Chili Dogs.
Ah, that's on there. No, Pat's Chili Dogs.
Pat's Chili Dogs.
Definitely the best theme.
Yeah.
Voted number one in Food and Wine magazine. Yeah, baby.
That was from the band Cinderella when they were big in the area. They did a.
We're Warren. We were in town. We want some good chili dogs. We always read through Food and Wine magazine to see who won.
They did a commercial for Pat's Dogs.
That building is now a We Buy Gold.
Oh, is it really?
We buy gold. Gold for sale. No more chili dogs. Job not going west. Next step, selling blood.
Yeah. So number 6 on this list is Ada, which is Ada Indian Canteen.
Ooh, I love canteens. When you go in that, you need water.
Fox and the Knife in Boston.
Boston sucks.
Hey, we beat Boston.
Yeah.
Love me some good Fox.
There you go.
Suck at Boston.
How's the Fox at this place?
Indigo in Houston. Nightshade in Los Angeles. And in New Orleans, a place called Piece of Meat.
There you go. You know, it's I think one of the most difficult parts of a restaurant would be a name that means something and pops to people.
Yeah.
You know, like Pat's Chili Dogs.
Right. That's. Yeah, I mean, you know, the name will only get you so far, but it is an added bonus. Answer the phone, by the way. Thank you very much. I don't know. If you had a restaurant, what would you name it?
I'd name it Answer the Phone.
Yeah, thank you.
Because
I'm sorry. I'm tired of waving my arms.
Yeah.
It's been happening
You
the
lose
last few
business.
days, and I'm just going to say answer the phone.
Answer the goddamn phone.
Yeah, answer. In fact, I'll say it that way.
Yeah.
That should be the name of the restaurant.
Answer the goddamn.
Answer the goddamn.
Answer the goddamn phone. Great food. Answer the goddamn phone. Open online.
We've been mentioning all morning long, tickets for the MMBarbecue go on sale right now. It is exactly 10 a.m.
Yeah.
You can get your tickets. The lawn seats start at just $25, and we want you to get on board because we want you to be there for all of the bands and all the activities that are taking place. We're going to have Aaron Jones, who we just played, Dorothy, Mammoth, Wolfgang Van Halen's band, Mammoth will be there. Dirty Honey, Cheap Trick, The Offspring, and the band that this gentleman is in, who is joining us right now. We're so excited to have Jane's Addiction
on the bill.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've seen them before. I saw them at the Spectrum ages ago.
Amazing, right?
Blew me out of the water. One of my favorite shows in that building of all time. Please welcome Mr. Dave Navarro. Our show today. Good morning, Dave.
Hi, guys.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. That's a very nice welcome.
It's our pleasure, man. Like I said, yeah, I've seen you guys before. I know the kind of energetic show that you bring, and that you guys get the audience in on the party. You make it happen. And it's been a while since we've partied, Dave. So big expectations.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Well, big expectations for me too. I got to tell you, the other night, LA is starting to open up and have indoor eating and dining and things like that. And I went to a restaurant the other night, and it was overwhelming. Just people and noise and things going on and plates being dropped. And then I thought forward to our show coming up in September. I was like, man, I'm not even prepared to be in a restaurant.
Baby steps.
But you know what I mean? Like, what is it going to be like walking out onto like a festival audience with you guys? But I'm excited to do it, man. It's been a long time. So
well, the way
we're pretty psyched.
The way it's progressing is that the show is it's at the end of September. So again, everyone's sort of feeling their way. It's like the cobwebs are lifting and the doors are opening and everyone's looking above ground. And by that time, I think we're going to be in a nice swing of thing. But I can't think of a better scenario, especially since it'll be a little bit cooler in September.
Yeah.
And the roster's great. And Preston's seen you guys a number of times, and I've always wanted to see Jane's Addiction. And people are freaking out.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm also super excited to see Wolfgang's band.
Yes. Yeah, we've been talking quite a bit about that, David. I want to get your take on this because the music that we've heard so far, very impressive. He had a lot to live up to, and that's another thing. And I'm hoping for the best because not only is he a young musician trying to make his way, but I need somebody to carry on that Eddie
legacy.
The mantle?
Thank you. Yeah. And that's got to be a tremendous amount of pressure on him, I assume. I'm sure he's gladly going to take this on, but it's got to be a weird position to be in.
Yeah, I would imagine the best thing for him is to acknowledge that and be aware of it, but to just do his own thing, man. Yeah. He's his own human being, and like he's got his direction musically. And from what I've seen, it is very different than Van Halen. It's a little bit more, more modern rock, I suppose.
Yeah.
But he's fantastic, and I want to see him. I want to check out the band, and I'm going to do everything in my power to not tell him how much your dad meant to me.
I know. It's hard though, right?
It's going to be impossible, but you know how hard that's going to be to not do. But yeah, I mean, I hope the best for him, and I typically don't get to when we do these festival shows. I typically don't get to them early, but I'm definitely going to come down and check out Wolfie, and I'll probably check out Cheap Trick too, because Xander's a friend and I played with him a bunch of times. And a weird side note for me is that I think the first concert I ever went to was Cheap Trick opening up for Kiss.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah. Like in the 70s.
Yeah.
And so to be on the same bill with them as Cheap Trick and as Jane's Addiction is a pretty big deal for me. Just in terms of like, having a little personal clash with my own history, I suppose.
Well, Dave, I have to tell you, I had my upper thigh felt at a backyard barbecue to a Cheap Trick song in the 70s. So, yes.
I don't know that we can top that experience for you.
I mean, that was good.
Hey, Dave,
at least you had that.
I wanted to ask, with the length of time it's been since musicians have had a chance to do live shows. I mean, you can pick up the guitar and you can play it and you can keep your chops going, just doing a little rehearsing here and there and writing whatever you may be doing. But is there a difference between being, keeping the instrument fresh and being on stage? Or do you have to get your stage legs together, essentially, is what I'm asking?
I mean, I don't know. We've been doing it for so long. And, believe it or not, Jane's Addiction has historically taken years off, years of hiatuses. And so, we're just coming out of COVID, and it's been a while since we've been on stage, but we are ironically very used to getting back together after years of not doing it. So hopefully we are experienced in trying to make it look seamless once we get back on the stage. But usually when the first downbeat happens and Perry gets into his trip, it's pretty easy to get lost in that environment and just kind of go back to second nature.
Yeah.
You know, fortunately, a lot of these songs have been with us for 30 years, you know, so it should be pretty seamless.
You know, I'm sorry to interrupt. Dave Grohl has this special coming out about the van life, that evolutionary period of a band. Was that you guys? Was that Jane's? Were you guys doing that? Okay.
Oh yeah. We our first tour was in a van with the entire band and the one crew member that we had and all of our gear in a U-Haul behind us, and like literally taking turns driving and just freezing and sick and hating each other and in close quarters. And when you do get to a motel, you all share a room. Like it was, you know, the early days were rough stuff.
Well, I was surprised to find out when Dave is mentioning when Nevermind came out, this album is out. It's starting to hit. They're still in a van traveling to shows. It is, you know, this is a groundbreaking record. This is huge. This is rock and roll history right here. And they're still driving around a van. When Nothing Shocking, were you guys still doing the van thing when that came out?
I know that we had a couple of tiers. So we went from a van to what we thought was a great idea, which was a Winnebago.
Okay.
So it wasn't quite a bus, it was a Winnebago. It was literally like a mobile home. And we broke out a window. One of the side windows got shattered somehow. So we were literally touring around the East Coast in the dead of winter.
Oh, no.
With just freezing cold 75-mile-an-hour wind just wafting through the Winnebago.
Did you try to tape up like a trash bag or something?
Well, you try everything. And then finally at some point you're like, fuck it, we'll deal with it. And we just we just sat there and like dealt with it. But I think that, you know, I think there's something to be said about those old days that like we really, I don't know that we would be the same band without them. You know, we really had to. I mean, there were gigs. We were putting in vans, and we'd pull up to the club, and we would load out and load in our own gear ourselves. So it would be like a Jane's Addiction show. Thank you, good night, and then start winding up cables and putting guitars in cases and trying to push your amp off the stage to get ready for the next band. I really appreciate having had those experiences. As much as I would never want to do them again, I think they really taught us how to be a band.
I was in my 20s. I was a band guy. I'm a drummer. And so just last year, I was like, I got together with some guys. We created a cover band, and we went out and we played some gigs. And I tell you what, Dave, on that first night, at 3 o'clock in the morning when we're putting the last bit of crap back into the van, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking, man? This sucks. You know?
It's a little different when you're 17 and you're pushing stuff in. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, right now, like, my lower spine cannot handle carrying an amp.
It's just not going to happen.
Dave, we're able to Zoom with you right now, and looking over your shoulder, is that a cuckoo clock up on the wall? And if so, what's the story behind that?
Actually, there's probably 12 of them in this house. I collect them. That's cool. It's just a weird thing. And, you know, cuckoo clocks, when I was a kid, that was like in cartoons, that was the symbol of crazy.
Yeah.
Like if someone was crazy, you'd see a little cuckoo or a bird would come out. And I just kind of came with this whole embracing. I do a company called Dual Diagnosis, which is it's an art/clothing company that's geared at lifting the stigma of mental health issues.
Right.
And, you know, there's a whole story behind the cuckoo. I don't know if you know about it, but if you look inside that box, it's all complicated gears and springs and coils and wires. There's this little bird that's trapped in there. It can't fly out because it's held down by these weights.
Yeah.
You see the weights that hang down?
Right.
Which could be, you know, its emotional baggage, for instance. And so until it drops that baggage, it can't fly and reach its full potential.
Wow.
And it's locked in this confusing box that's making it crazy. So, yeah, I collect them, and then we also use them artistically throughout the Dual Diagnosis company, and that's spelled DUAL diagnosis, and dualdiagnosis.com.
Well, I never realized there were so many metaphors attached to a cuckoo clock, but I
think that I invented them, but they work.
But that's good. I can completely see that because I'm fascinated by little mechanisms and the artistry of that stuff, animatronic things, and all of that. Have you yourself ever designed a cuckoo clock?
I designed what I called a cuckoo clock wristwatch. Was when I took that clock and I duct taped it on my arm.
Okay, that counts.
This is a crazy watch, but no, I'm not a tinkerer. For instance, I love watches. I love components. I love things that work like that. But I mean, these things, you know, they're kind of genius, and the implications, like the humorous implications that they contain, are kind of funny, and you just don't see them anymore. But if you look around my house, like I think there's one over there.
Yeah.
There's one there. There's one on the other side. So there's like 15 of them in here. But the best part is that they're all set at different times.
Yeah.
So throughout the day, just a different
WMMR.
Thank you very much, Kathy. We have a guest we're about to get on the line. And you know what's funny? What this is poignant about our next guest is that I looked over to Marissa, who just had him on the phone, to see whether or not he was good to go or not.
Right.
You know what she did?
What?
She gave me the thumbs up.
Hey.
That just ties directly in. I didn't even put that together until the last second there. He's a brilliant man. He's a very talented man. And he is, I guess, you know, the final season, man, wrapping it up. It's got to be a little bit bittersweet. We're talking about Barry, and we would like to welcome the one and only Mr. Henry Winkler to our program today. Henry, good morning, sir.
You know what? I have to tell you something. That was such a great intro. I am standing.
You just
Please
stand
have a
up.
seat.
Yeah,
Have a
we
seat,
love
sir.
that.
No.
Yeah, relax. You're
Hey,
with friends.
Barry, I wanted to ask, Barry, Jesus Christ. Henry.
I know what you meant.
I wanted to ask about Barry.
I'm on Barry.
And the fourth of
Sunday night at 10 o'clock, HBO.
the fourth and final season. Listen, I'm glad. Sometimes series can go too long. I like now that it's starting to be embraced that we have closure to shows like this because the writing and the storylines are usually top notch by the fourth, fifth season, and it should end. How do you feel about that type of thing?
Do you know what? I feel exactly like you do now.
Okay.
I am sad. I love these people. I love this crew. Bill Hader and Alec Berg were amazing bosses. You know, Bill is a great acting partner. And but it is time. The Alec and Bill both want to go on and do other things. Barry has done such dastardly things to so many people. I don't know how he can go on.
Well, you know, the whole notion, Bill Hader, we were talking about you and your incredible resume and that you can do, you know, really compelling, dramatic stuff. But Bill Hader, man, he's been we always knew he was super talented, but I can see why he would want to go on and do different things. He was in the second It movie, and he's done a couple of dramatic turns, and he's got the chops. It's got to be.
He does.
It's got to be cool seeing that. Yeah.
Especially when you're on set with him and you're watching it. Now, remember, his dream when he came to Hollywood was to be a director.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a diversion that he went to Saturday Night Live. That was like an accident. So now he's back on track doing what he has really wanted to do all of his life.
You know, it's
like Ron Howard. They both knew early that directing was their passion.
You know, it's interesting you talk about, you know, where you end up, where you think you're going to be, and where you end up. And, you know, we've had you on before to talk about, you know, your issues with dyslexia. And now you have written many books. You have your memoir coming out, being Henry, the Fonz, and Beyond. And so, you know, life does sometimes take you in different directions. What can we expect in the book, by the way? I want to make sure that people know that's coming up.
You summed it up. I can't believe it. You got the memoir. where I started, being who I thought I should be, and where I am now, being who I am, is quite a journey. And I wrote it, and I was amazed. When Lynn Oliver and I write our children's book, and the newest one is coming out just before my memoir, it's called Detective Duck.
Detective Duck. I like that.
It's a little duck on a pond in New Hampshire. When we write a book, we beat it out so that we know exactly where that book is going. And while we're writing it, it takes a turn to the left, a turn to the right, a turn upside down, and we just go where the story takes us. You've got to be open.
It's very cool. Yeah.
I want to go back to Barry real quick because, hey, Henry, my name's Casey, by the way. I'm a huge fan. And I've caught every single episode. As a matter of fact, my 16-year-old son, before the 4th season started, I said, hey, listen, I need you to watch the first 3 seasons here because I think you're really going to dig it. And he did. And so he watched all of Breaking Bad, all of Better Call Saul, El Camino. And I said, if you like that, I said, you're going to love Barry. I'm like, there's so many characters on this show that you're really going to love and identify with. So now he and we're all caught up. We watched the last episode on Sunday.
What is his name?
His name is Seamus. And
Seamus, I just want to say, you show great taste in your watching habits.
Well, I got to say, your character, in just 4 short seasons, has shown so many different layers, and I cannot get enough of it. And how you showed up in this last episode that came out this past Sunday, I'm like, oh my God, Henry. I don't know if you're underrated or rated perfectly, but man, you're a really good actor.
You know what? That's all I need. That is a great compliment. It was a dream when I was 7 on 78th Street and Broadway in New York City, and here we are talking about it now. It's an amazing gift.
Henry, I wanted to ask, I read an article or an interview you had done recently, and you talked about being typecast as the Fonz, and you're trying to get out of that. At what point in Happy Days' arc did you realize that I may never be able to shake the Fonzie persona?
It was only afterwards.
It was afterwards, okay.
I literally thought he was so big
in
126 countries.
Yeah.
I literally thought I have beat the system. And when the show is over, people said he's so great, he's funny, he's a great guy, but he was the Fonz. And that's when I started producing him. The first show I did was MacGyver.
Whoa.
And that was the first show I sold.
I remember that.
ABC.
Yeah. You were producing on that. But I'll tell you this, Henry. There was a movie you did years ago, Heroes, an entirely different character than the Fonz. Yes. Preston and I are massive fans of Night Shift, in which you play the absolute antithesis of the Fonz. Yeah. You are so hilarious. And it
was written by 2 guys who ran Happy Days, Lowell Gans and Babalu Mandel. And I love that movie. That was Ron Howard's first movie for a major studio. And he said, you can play either role. What do you want to do? I said, well, I've been kind of flamboyant as the Fonz. I'm going to play Richie.
Yeah.
And so I chose Chuck.
I would love to see what happened to Chuck and Bill. And I know you don't need to, you don't necessarily have to go back to find out what happened to these characters. But man, if you and Michael Keaton could work together again in those roles, it would just, because that was his breakout role. I mean, that's the thing that launched him. Yeah.
We auditioned every young actor in Hollywood together, Ron and I. And Michael was the last one. Within 30 seconds of him opening his mouth, I looked at Ron, Ron looked at me, and boom, we knew.
Done.
Henry,
what a talent.
Yeah.
What a talent.
Obviously, 2020 was a difficult and challenging year for a lot of people, but allowed me to revisit Parks and Rec and Arrested Development. Do you have a preference? Because both of those shows are absolutely hilarious, but there are similar tones, and you're great in them. Do you have a preference on either one of them?
Do you know what? There are 2 things. One is I don't have a preference on the books that I write or the shows that I've done because I am so grateful and happy that I was there. But I'll tell you what is the similarity between both shows. I was only invited to be on a few episodes of each show.
Yeah.
And Arrested Development, I stayed for 5 years. And it just, but I was only hired for a few guest starring roles there.
On Arrested Development, did you get to work with Ron Howard at all? Because he narrates so much of it.
No. It was his company, and he did the voiceover.
Right.
But we never met
Gotcha.
On that show. But we are very good friends to this day. He's like my brother.
Yeah. Wow. Well, Barry has brought you a lot of great awards. You've won Primetime Emmy. You've won 2 Critics' Choice Awards. You've been nominated for several other ones as well. So
yes.
This is one of your most successful roles, it seems like.
Well, you know what? It is really incredible. And I think to myself, I panic, actually. So what happens now?
Right.
I am a more mature gentleman. And am I ever going to do anything as impactful as this incredible character and series?
Well, the length and breadth of what you've done, and I like to listen. There was an Adam Sandler marathon, and the stuff that you've done with Adam Sandler, those movies. He won the Mark Twain Award, or was presented the Mark Twain Award, and
yes.
And everyone makes the case. Somewhere, as long as you are entertaining people, which you have for so many years, obviously with a massively iconic character like the Fonz, but all of these different things, the fact that Preston and I, as you said before, will every other day reference something from Night Shift and other films, even all that you've done, it all has been entertaining and valid. So I don't, the impact is there.
Well, yeah, I just want to continue until I can't anymore.
There you go. That's the key.
Well, we heard that
That's my dream.
You're going to be in Philadelphia on June 2nd, and Casey says...
at the MegaCon.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's at the Philadelphia, at the convention center in Philadelphia. It's called the Pennsylvania Convention Center, yeah.
And if you can come by, Casey will buy you beignets, he said.
All right, and you know what? I'm there. But I'll tell you this is a great thing about the MegaCons. You get to meet the people who watch you, because without them, you're not on the air.
Yes, that's true.
If they don't show up, you go home.
Henry, we know you have to run, but you mentioned meeting people. Have you ever met Emilio Estevez before?
I sure have, yes.
Okay, hang on. He's on the phone right now. Let me get him on. Emilio, you and Henry are on together.
Henry Winkler.
Emilio. How are you?
Oh, my gosh. I'm well, man. It's so good to hear your voice.
You too? And would you do me a favor? Would you give your family my warmest?
I will indeed. I talk to them every day. And
also, congratulations. Your film is coming out again, isn't it?
That's right. The Way is back out in theaters next week.
Oh, my God. Congratulations. And give a big hug to your dad.
And that's why we're having Emilio on. Henry, I thought you guys probably had connected at one time or another. All right, Henry, we love you. We're going to let you go. We're going to talk to Emilio, and we'll see you here on June 2nd, sir.
I look forward to it, and thanks for the conversation.
All right, we love you. Henry Winkler, guys. And now, Emilio Estevez. Sorry to blindside you with that, Emilio, but I figured you guys would probably know each other.
That was lovely. But, he's a very tough act to follow, so I kind of just need to hang up now.
No, we beg to differ. We actually, Emilio, had you and your father in the studio when The Way first came out, and I saw it back then, and I remember being blown away. I had known that, obviously that you were directing, but this was such a personal movie. And then when and such a beautiful movie, when Casey said you were, promoting it again, and I'm like, oh, okay. So on its initial release, this is a more robust release of The Way, correct?
It is, and you guys were part of our ridiculous tour that started on the West Coast. We got on a bus and we drove across the whole country. We did 35 cities over 50 days. We slept and ate on the bus. My dad thought I was completely insane. And I said, this is a movie that we have to take to the people because, of course, our release was very limited.
Yeah.
So, and it worked to a certain degree because I think people remembered our efforts, and the movie got this cult following after its release. But it didn't break any box office records, but people began to find it on streaming. They began to buy the DVD. Some people would buy 20, 30, 40 copies of it and give them out to friends. And so we knew that there was a desire to see this movie and enter Fathom Events. They knew that the film was off of all of the streaming channels, and they said, we'd like to see if this would work in our how we distribute films. And it's a one night only in theaters on May 16th, but it's in about just under 1,000 theaters nationwide.
No, it makes complete sense. And I'll tell you what, Emilio, movies that are a little bit more inspirational, and there is an element of I guess of religion in it, obviously because of the Camino de Santiago and all of the that elements, but films that just are hitting on topics in a similar fashion are doing very well. So I think this comes at a very good time because watching the movie, I think it can speak to just about everyone because it is handled. It's handled tactfully. There are different people represented in it, and I think it's a perfect synergy at this time. I think it's going to be very successful.
Well, thank you. I certainly hope your lips to God's ears, and my belief is that coming out of the pandemic, where people are experiencing such loss and such grief, and we lost over 1 million Americans.
Yeah,
and I don't think we've properly grieved that loss yet. I don't think. I think it's a lot of it has been, back to business as usual, and it's like, wait a minute, hang on, man.
Yeah.
We have to take the opportunity and we have an opportunity to grieve, to experience what that loss was all about and what it meant to all of us. And so the film addresses that. The film addresses loss and grief, and it addresses what is next and how we move on. And how we get to a place where we're healing, and I don't think we've healed as a nation from all of that loss.
No,
frankly. And the movie does address that.
Emilio, one thing that you could do during the pandemic is spend time outside, right? And so your movie, along with your dad, and I also think about the Reese Witherspoon movie Wild, which is based on a great book about a woman hiking the Pacific Crest Trail. It inspired a lot of people, including myself, to get outside more. And I'm curious as to whether or not you hear that a lot of just people hiking just for the sake of hiking, communing with nature.
That's right. And I think, a Camino doesn't necessarily mean booking your trip to Spain and walking 500 miles across
right.
Santiago. The Camino for a lot of people and a pilgrimage can be simply taking a walk around the park. For people who have mobility issues, it could be simply going to the mailbox to get to the day's mail. I mean, it could be going to your neighbor's house to break bread and have a meal. Camino and pilgrimage are really about finding community because, again, coming out of that pandemic, we are craving that contact. We are craving anything that we can do to get out of the isolation that was imposed on us.
Well, in the characters, here's the case, and you also wrote the screenplay, and the characters sometimes in things like this they can be grating and annoying, and to your point that you just made, because of the way you direct the movie and because of the performances, you sort of are corralled into seeing better aspects of these characters, because we tend to kind of decide what someone is on an initial meeting and not spend some time with them, and the very nature of the dynamic of the movie makes you stay with the characters and you begin to appreciate everyone in their own right.
Indeed you do. And Martin's character doesn't really, he's not a warm and fuzzy guy.
Yeah.
In the beginning, we show little glimpses of his relationship with his son, and it was not a great relationship. It was prickly. He didn't agree with his son's desire to go out and see the world, and he was content being in his cozy isolation with his golf buddies and his fellow doctors. So for him, he had to, it took the loss of the son to finally make that connection to him. and instead of meeting him halfway, he has to go to Spain and then travel the entire Camino to discover who his son was. And isn't that sort of what happens to anyone who's not willing to meet somebody halfway, whether it's politically or emotionally?
Exactly.
Any relationship. It's
exactly.
Like you have to be willing to walk halfway to meet someone. You have to be willing to cross that aisle, as it were, to go meet them halfway, because otherwise you're never going to find that radical center, that common ground, that where there's some measure of agreement.
I've said exactly what you just said countless times over the past couple of years, because we need to find that in each other. It's important. The movie beautifully relays that. As you said, your dad, your son who's, dies in the beginning of the film. The fact that he's completing what his son wanted to do, and that's the whole nature of this pilgrimage. And for whatever reason, I think if anything we learned over the past couple of years is it's okay to look within yourself, see how you can be better, see how you can understand people, and it's a real evolution as a writer and director, because you also did one of our favorite movies, Preston, Men at Work.
Yeah,
and I mean,
sure.
that is. I'm going to say that. Are you surprised? Because that movie, which is polar opposite, is a big cult movie now.
It just got a 4K re-release.
Whoa! I gotta get it. I'm a huge fan.
And nobody told me, so I'm going through the internet and looking at the and
Nobody
network.
told you?
4K release, and you got to be kidding me! Why?
No, well, obviously the way is the focus, but there are those who love the balance of Men at Work as well. So but the film really impactful. I heartily recommend it. We all do, because it's definitely an important film to see.
And congratulations on the re-release. That's awesome, Emilio.
Hey, thank you. And we've added Rick Steves, the travel icon, to this new edition. There at the end of the film, there's a 20-minute conversation about the importance of travel, why we travel. The road is church. We talk about culture and Spanish food and family. And it's a lovely addendum to the film that audiences will be able to see on Tuesday.
Very
Excellent.
cool.
All right, thank you, Emilio. In theaters nationwide May 16th. Emilio Estevez with the win. Take care, sir. We'll talk to you another time.
Really
That's
is
cool.
a good. A lot of times we have to review. Like they'll give us screener copies, and we'll be like, "Oh boy!" And do I watch it so I have culpable or plausible deniability?
Right.
And I was touched by the film. It is definitely touching.
Yeah, we dove right into it without really setting up what the movie's about. But Emilio and Martin Sheen, they play father-son.
Yeah.
Real life father-son, and he's taking this pilgrimage, the El Camino de Santiago, which is this walk to discover yourself.
People are doing it all the time.
Yeah, and it's 800 kilometers.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And so his son goes to do it, and then he dies. And they're kind of estranged. They don't get along very well. And Martin Sheen goes to take the journey himself. So I'm getting a little teary-eyed just thinking about it, to be honest.
Because there are countless. That's actually similar to countless stories of people who go and do it because it was a dream of a family member to do it, and are doing it in their stead, and that's an amazing thing. So it seems kind of is that something that makes for good fodder? I mean, there's a lot of caretaking with the characters, and if you're looking for a movie like that, this could be the one for you.
Yep.
There are 3 really long through hikes in North America, in the U.S. And through hiking is just you're going on the trail and you're not really stopping. It's from point A to point B. You're not going out and then turning around and coming back.
Right.
And the Pacific Crest Trail goes from the Mexican border to the Canadian border. Appalachian Trail goes from the middle of Georgia all the way up to Maine. And I'm forgetting what the third one is. But Andrea, my fiance, wants to do Pacific Crest Trail badly. It takes about 6 months to do it.
Jeez.
And you can do it section hiking, so you can start and stop a few different places. But I admire that about her. I don't know if I'd ever be able to do that long. Certainly with this job, I wouldn't be able to. But I don't know. There's part of that that's appealing to me, and getting away from pretty much everything for a long stretch of time to me is interesting.
Yeah. I would do the Appalachian Trail. I've talked about.
Kathy wants to go.
Nobody caught on.
Oh, wait, I clearly caught.
Yes.
For a second, I was like,
ball.
Kathy's into this?
I'd love to walk for 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah. No, but I would.
And would I be able to crap outside?
thought about doing the Appalachian Trail, but not all at once. You can break that up into
10 feet at a time.
Yeah, 10 feet at a time. Well, actually, there's a documentary on. It was on Netflix. It's either called like Meant to Be Broken or Made to Be Broken, and it's about this guy who wants to break the world record for doing the Appalachian Trail. And the question is, do you start in Georgia or do you start in Maine? And I believe this guy started in Maine because.
But he thought it was Georgia.
But he thought it was Georgia. He thought it was in Portland, Georgia.
So he went north into.
I would think you'd want to start in Maine at the in the heart of spring, and then eventually when you make your way south.
Well, yeah,
I don't know how long it would take.
You can start earlier in the year in Georgia and go north.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to wait until longer if you start in Maine. You have to wait until later in the spring to be able to do it.
Yeah,
then.
true.
But you have to do all of like the White Mountains and like Mount Washington.
You know
and
what
like
state's the hardest for the Appalachian Trail?
What's that?
Pennsylvania is the hardest.
Why?
Do you know why? Because the soil is so rocky in Pennsylvania.
Right.
That's right. There it is.
It's difficult because Rocky's here.
Walking around.
Earlier we were talking about one of my films called Victory, and I encourage you to see it.
It's hard on the knees.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania's hard on
It's a soccer movie, Nick.
Right. Yep. Well, I meant the trail, but
sorry, I stand corrected.
Soccer's also hard on the knees.
But this dude does it in like.
Soccer's always been hard on my knees.
And your nephew.
Exactly.
But he ends up doing it in like 28. My niece, my nephew.
I'm sorry. I didn't get it.
But he ends up doing it in like 28 days or something like that, which is insane. No, this guy. But you need like you need an entire team of people that are there with like food. And,
but in general, just anything that can get you out. That's what I love about hiking in general. Is that for this, and we all know is that you're with yourself. And you can pleasure yourself anywhere you want.
Anywhere you want.
I just did it by that old tree over there.
There was a text that says, Nick, it is the Continental Divide Trail.
There you go.
That's the third one.
That's the longest of the three.
Where's that?
It starts in southern New Mexico, goes up through the Rockies.
Jesus! Come on!
Hello! Echo!
Mickey! Buckets!
Goes along
You
those
left out
mountains.
Adrian. Come on, man.
And I already said one dog, Waka Waka.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. Listen, I know, man. The tickets were slim.
What I meant to say.
And I told her she was gorgeous. Up your hat if you want to get some muff.
Goes along the Continental Divide.
Turns out Rocky's a complete, just predatory scumbag.
Oh, God.
That one's the longest of the three. It's
How long?
3,100 miles.
Jeez.
Appalachian Trail is about 2,100, and the Pacific Crest, which is the one that I want to do, that's about 2,600.
What's the longest hike in the world?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
I assume if you would.
Wow, 3,100 miles. That's insane.
There's another documentary where this guy is trying, or actually a couple of people are trying to, and that's on Netflix as well, trying to hike the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon.
Wouldn't they drown?
No. Not in the river, but like alongside the river,
alongside.
which
That makes more sense.
Way more sense, yeah. But but it's only like 270 miles, but it's really rugged, rough terrain. And so they start, and I think they make it just a few weeks, and they were like, okay, we're not ready for this. And these are people that are like, in tip-top shape and stuff like that. And they were like, okay, we need to rethink this and go back to the drawing board.
The worst is when, I've done a lot of the trails in the area, and then you'll get on one trail, and you're like, well, I'm good. I'm up to speed on this, and you realize, wow, this is a little bit more vertical than I was I was planning on.
Oh, when I did Mount Washington, and Nick, I give you all the credit in the world for doing Kilimanjaro and attempting Rainier and any of the 1400s or what do they call those?
The 14ers?
14ers.
Kilimanjaro.
Because I did Mount Washington, which is like nothing compared to anything that Nick has done. And when I got to the trailhead at the bottom of the mountain, I was like, oh, this looks like that it sucks. And then I started, and I expected there to be like some switchbacks and some things that were like, flat for it. No, it was just straight vertical for a mile and change. And I was like, this sucks.
Mommy,
please come and get me.
All right.
Mommy, I'm on a mountain. Please come get me.
Nick found this. It's called the Great Trail.
That's a great trail.
Formerly known as Trans-Canada. The trail length is the longest in the world.
Yeah.
16,777 miles.
All right, so how do you? I assume there's some
Canada.
weaving back and forth. Yes.
Yeah, would have to. Yeah.
Because it's not 16,000 miles across Canada.
You definitely want to start in December, right?
Yeah.
You start in the dead of September.
Yeah. The Great Western Loop in the United States is 6,875 miles.
Yeah, I think that includes part of the Pacific Crest Trail.
Wow, this is crazy.
What is it? The Guinness Book of World Record? Would I?
That's a collection of stats.
Nick, it says I guess because it says the Pacific Crest Trail, but it says it's the longest designated hiking trail.
Yeah.
So I guess this is a lot of like off.
And a lot
trail.
of these trails, they link up with other trails, and so they've become longer as a result. Appalachian Trail at one point was just a whole bunch of different hikes in different states, and then eventually it got linked together.
Interesting. It is.
But you're right.
Thing.
As far as I told you guys I did my little walkabout. It was only for like a week, but went to Yellowstone and Jackson Hole and all that stuff. It was pretty. It was cool being alone for that amount of time and being in nature as well.
You get used to, life is this, and waking up and doing these things and worrying about that, and then you're out there, and you realize, everything goes on without you. It's really not concerned about what's up in your life, and the world moves on, and then it gives you a contextual perspective.
It does.
Which you need an ointment to clear up.
You have to be careful with your contextual perspective. I would like to completely switch gears, and I want to mention something that I started to talk about yesterday had to stop. So we're going to go back to cookies for a moment. In just a moment, because I got this email from Alex Gasbaro.
Alex.
About Pepperidge Farm.
Yes.
We were talking the other day about the cookies, and it dawned on us that all the cookie names were countries and regions
Brussels.
and things like that. Yeah, there was Brussels, Milano. What were some of the other ones?
Nantucket, Montauk.
All right, so this was according to Alex. Alex says when Pepperidge Farm was starting out, it was run by a woman, which was very unique for that time. She was very smart to go overseas to find different recipes to bring to America to compete with American cookie and cracker makers. That became her main strategy to push her way into the American marketplace, and therefore her fondness for cities abroad became a part of the company.
She's very candid about this in an interview, Preston.
I done pass a miss a lot.
Yeah. So she liked Paris a lot.
She goes on to say that the goldfish cracker is a recipe that she bought off of a small European baker who made that recipe for his wife's birthday, and her birth sign is Pisces. That's why it's a fish.
So there is the cookie division of Pepperidge Farm, and we're talking about this particular story. But I always like their cakes in the tins. You remember those, Preston, right? Like the Devil's Food, Pepperidge Farm cakes.
I don't remember Pepperidge Farm cakes. I remember
the commercial with the
Entenmann's.
guy. Yeah,
well, I remember the Pepperidge Farm commercials, but I don't remember what those were about.
Pepperidge Farm Devil Food cake and all that.
No.
The tagline was Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't.
And I don't remember.
I don't remember where I live. Norman. I can't remember where I live. But Pepperidge Farm remembers. But I can't remember the number to call them. That's where I live.
Did you find out where you live? Get the address?
I'm lost.
Wow, I didn't know Pepperidge Farm made all kinds of cakes. I was always familiar with the cookies.
Kathy,
well, now I'm looking at it.
That was crack like me. Their Devil's Food cake. It was chocolate cake with chocolate icing, and it was actually in a tin where you'd take the cardboard thing off the top. And it was one of those ones where you felt you weren't eating the whole cake because you'd cut off thin lines of it. Mm-hmm. And see,
that all sounds like Entenmann's to me.
Yeah, they're similar, very similar.
Very, very
So I love Entenmann's as well.
What are some of the flavors that you're
I was just looking up the Devil's Food cake. Okay, some of them are chocolate fudge, red velvet, lemon, fudge stripe, and rich golden. So there's a whole bunch of different ones.
There was a Pepperidge Farm outlet near me.
Did you go to it?
Oh, dude, all the time. Yeah, because we would get we had kids. And me, we would get those giant boxes of goldfish, and they're like what, $8-9 a box. You get them for
what
a
is
little bit cheaper.
What is a food outlet?
It was a Pepperidge Farm store. They only sold Pepperidge Farm.
So Kathy, they were up in New York.
It was cheaper.
Entenmann's had the outlet right near me. There was a Drake's outlet. There were, and you would go, and it would be usually, a lot of times it'd be a store connected to a factory.
Yeah.
And so
this was just in a strip mall,
right?
And it went out of business.
Is an outlet? Is there something wrong with the box?
No.
Are the cookies misshapen?
No. So though,
just a dedicated store.
There was
to
a
the
dead
product.
rat in each box.
Yeah.
But why would I don't understand? Why would they sell them cheaper then?
They were just shipping.
That's a good question.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because all right, so you're not selling them to the supermarket at a minimum, and then them sell.
They're adding a percentage. Yeah.
I got you.
Then they have to up the price.
Like a
or whatever.
factory store.
Do some of these cakes look good to you,
Yeah,
Preston?
you know what I do? I remember the coconut cake now. That was my favorite.
That's right.
I loved it.
Boo.
I know. Shut up with your coconut cake.
Casey, there was an Entenmann's store on Route 30 near Exton. Did you ever go there? Do you ever see that?
I never went
And
there.
Steve, you've talked many times about like the smell going past an Entenmann's. And holy crap! And I think it closed a few years ago, which just it made me sad, man.
And there's one on Henderson Road that not Entenmann's. Is it a Hostess outlet?
Oh,
or-
near King of Prussia?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that?
Is there a Freihoffer? They also. They had a competitive. Now Entenmann's wins always, but Freihoffer was sort of a competitor, and I believe they were more this area.
Not that I think so.
Yeah, yeah, not that I think so.
I've never even heard.
You never heard of that?
Freihoffer?
Yeah,
I don't know that one either.
Well, this is,
How do you spell it?
It's Feri Hoffer.
There's a Pepperidge in Downingtown. Somebody texted.
Oh, okay.
Pepperidge Farm Place.
Freihoffer's breads. Well, you can get it at Target.
Bread.
Freihoffer.
They used to have one in Fox Chase.
There we go.
All right.
Here we go. Have you seen these? Preston, they also have their own version of chocolate chip cookies.
It looks vaguely familiar. The Italian bread does. Yeah. Okay.
I gotta say, I love the artisan, the bimbo. They brought out to the camp out. Holy crap, that's good
artisan
stuff.
breads.
Yeah, I love artisan.
Love artisan. I love seahorses.
Seahorses forever.
Seahorses forever. Little bags. All right. Anyhow, I thought I would just share that information. Thank you, Alex, about the Pepperidge Farm. And I wish I had her name. I don't have the creator's name of Pepperidge
I had
Farm,
it.
but
It was Margaret Rudkin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Margaret Rudkin's been remembering for years.
Oh, she was the first female member of the board of the Campbell Soup Company, which now owns Pepperidge Farm.
Okay. Oh, so over there, Kathy, at the Campbell's headquarters, they have a store within it that has a lot of what we're talking about.
Yeah, they've got everything.
As we said, Tim Tams, which we're huge fans of.
Yep. Okay, we should take a break because we have money and tickets to give away with MMR's Concert Cash. So I want to break now. We'll return with that as well as we'll get into the bizarre file. And secret text word is still up. We'll get a winner in a little while. Don't forget, you can get a 90-minute float session and a 30-minute sauna session from Halcyon Floats, possibly, if you text in the word secret to 39333. We'll find out if you win in a little bit. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
If you're not insane already, put up 5 cuckoo clocks. You know what it's like.
Yeah, you know, my sister's actually obsessed with cuckoo clocks as well, but she does not have one. Maybe that is a good gift for me to get for her.
It's a great gift, and they you know they make them battery operated now, but the ones that are really special are the ones that are handmade, that use the actual weight system to have the time tell time, and even the pendulum has to be hung at the right length, otherwise it's going to either tick too fast or too slow.
Okay.
So they're very complicated things, but they are interesting to be obsessed with.
I completely get it. Yeah.
I did not expect to be talking about those.
Well, I'm sure you're not going to expect to talk about this either. Are you wearing a Snuggie right now?
No, right now I am wearing a it's like a hooded cape. This is like for outdoors life.
That's pretty
ceremonial outdoor life, and it happens exactly. It happens to be 7 a.m. here in LA, and I just happen to be freezing. But I will tell you this: I am not opposed to a straight up Snuggie either.
No, why would you be?
Dave, who would you say between you and Perry? You guys are artists to the core.
Yeah.
Who's a little more quirky in their personality? Is it you or Perry?
We both have a lot of, I guess, independent thought, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I would say that, I would say Perry, just because being a frontman of a band like this and having to have that sensibility and be on every night and deliver every night. Like, I get to turn around and hide behind the guitar and like get lost in my instrument, which I love, you know, because I did a solo tour in 2000 and I just came to learn that I didn't love it. I didn't love leading the band. I didn't love being the lead singer. I didn't love the eyes. I didn't love the pressure. And Perry can do that really well. And he, in fact, loves it. So I would say that there is a component to his personality that allows him to be that extroverted on stage and do it with authority and conviction. So I don't know if I would say he's more quirky, but I would say that he has what it takes to front a band.
Yeah,
better than most, I would say. And I think along with that kind of mentality, you've got to have some walls down, you know, to allow yourself to be that raw in front of people.
Totally.
And while at the same time having certain walls up, you know, so that's, I think it's a microcosm of some kind of very strange dance that goes into being a lead singer. And, you know, he's, as far as I'm concerned, he's one of the best frontmen that have been around in the past 30 years.
Is it hard, speaking to that point about because you know, you let a lot of you out, you know, with your love of like, you know, the tattoos and artistry and the cuckoo clocks and things that are part of you. Is it hard when you are in the public eye the way you are? And you're talking about Perry being more up front and being the front man, but you are a personality. You are a pop culture personality. Is it hard to know? I'm going to keep this just for me, you know? Do you know what I'm saying? Where you're not always revealing stuff about you.
Oh, no. I mean, things that I like and things that are interesting to me aren't really revealing anything. And those aren't like deep personal issues that whether or not I like cuckoo clocks, I better keep that to myself or I feel exposed.
It's too personal.
Like I don't feel exposed.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've also taken it upon myself and years ago, like I wrote a book and I put out a documentary that were about very difficult things in my life. And I think that the intention and hopefully the joy of that was to help others feel less alone that were in similar situations, whether it's grief or trauma or drug addiction or any of the things that I've been through. You know, it's I like to share with people that there's an alternative way, you know, and that it is possible to get past that stuff. And even though the demon of addictive behavior may be with you for your life, it's about channeling that addictive behavior into an area that can be healthy for you.
Well, yeah,
so,
I'm sober for 9+ years at this point, and I just know that it was important for me to see and interact with people who were living a sober life, a happy and content sober life. But then there were also other people that, you know, like musicians, Trey Anastasio being one of them. I'm a fish head. You know, he had been sober for a couple of years at that point. When I saw, I'm like, okay, here's somebody that's doing it. And I was able to gain strength through them. And so when you do that and you're outspoken about whatever struggles that you have gone through, there are people out there that really do hold on to that and gravitate towards that.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I would say is that, you know, the company I'm running, Dual Diagnosis, is all about mental health. I put out a book that was about my drug addiction. I put out a film that was about my mom's death. You know, it does resonate with a lot of people sometimes, you know, if they've got similar circumstances. But, you know, at the same time, I'm not a doctor. And so those people will come to me personally and say, I'm going through this and I don't know what to do. And I'm like, look, I already told you what I went through and how I dealt with it, but I can't advise, you know, like a doctor would. Like, I don't know what to tell you. That's, you know, you need to find a team of your own. But I think that that's not the tough part. I don't really think there is a tough part to it. I think that as long as you're comfortable with who you are and what you've been through and that, you know, behaviors can change.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's all we're doing. Like, I may not be doing drugs anymore, but, you know, now I'm in line at 1 a.m. at GameStop waiting for the next thing to come.
Dude, all right. Yes, that's exactly, that is the right way to think about it. We all have the same doctor. He's kind of he's on TV in here in Philadelphia. And he says, if I have to, I will write you a prescription for a video game. Because, because that's the stuff. To get that joy of something that doesn't have, like you say, you're not smoking crack. This is something you're into.
Something that's not going to kill you.
Exactly. That you can get passionate. Like, I love living through other people's passions, and it excites me to revisit my own. Your cuckoo clock thing, or just the different things you talk about. That to me is something that people, they sometimes seem reticent to allow themselves. Well, it's just crazy. Should I really collect that, or is that do it? Because we just don't think that way a lot of times.
Well, ultimately, we're all here for however long we're here, and we are ultimately going to dissolve into the universe or whatever happens.
Right.
So, do what you love, as long as it's not hurting anybody else or yourself. Yep. There's really, that this life was given to us for us to enjoy.
Yeah.
And I really feel strongly about that. And frankly, one of the things that I enjoy about life most is being able to perform with this band, and to come out and do that with you guys is what is that? The 25th, September 25th.
Correct.
Yep. I'm super pumped about that, and that's. I wouldn't be able to do that had I stayed on the path I was on.
Right.
So it's all, to me, it's all, this. I'm in the bonus round.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
I unlocked the little part of the game that allowed me to play in another room.
Yes.
I'm into it.
Dave, we're all excited about that as well. I wanted to ask, so every Tuesday we do a thing, it's called Tat Tuesday, and we give away a free tattoo every single Tuesday. And as a result, we used to do it here in the studio, and as a result, we've had several contestants and winners of Ink Master in our studio actually administering tattoo, which is really cool. Is Ink Master coming back to Paramount Plus by any chance? Do you know?
You know what? I honestly don't know. I heard that they were picking it up. That was the last I heard of it. The only thing that I can assume from not hearing anything is that they're rebooting it with a new cast. That's all I know.
That's all you know? All right.
In fact, I don't even know that because there's been very little dialogue. So I hear that Paramount Plus is going to pick it up. I guess they started a new streaming service.
Yep.
And, but I don't know. But I will tell you what's very funny about that is that Ink Master was a show that, it was on 10 years ago. It's hard to believe it was a decade ago that started, and we did 13 seasons. And then during the pandemic, Paramount sold a couple of seasons to Netflix. So now it's on Netflix, but these are old episodes.
Right.
But what that did was that opened us up to a whole new audience that had never seen us. And I started getting messages from people who were angry at me for certain people who got sent home 10 years ago.
Oh my God!
You know what I mean? Like they thought
it's
it
just
was
now. Yeah.
Fuck you for sending Josh home. He was the one. Like, how dare you? I'm like,
oh my
who's
God,
Josh! I don't even know what you're talking about.
That's great.
But people get very passionate about that. I hope that when you give out tattoos, is there one artist that you use, or is there a resident artist? Or
yeah. There's
a shop.
Yeah, we have one shop, several artists within that shop, and there's a guy named Troy here who is he's a big name in the tattoo industry in Philadelphia. Actually, he is responsible for a lot of the tattoo conventions all across the country.
Yep.
So he has a lot of guys and he's also super generous. So
do they get to decide what they are getting, or does it have to be a WMMR?
They have to include
on the throat.
They have to include us in there somewhere, and it can even be very, very subtle. That's all that we ask. So
right.
Yeah.
That's nice.
The rabbit in the Playboy cover. It can be very discreet. So yeah.
Some are more subtle.
Do you
than
want to know
others.
something funny about this? Do you see this?
Yeah. That's the Playboy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So here's a quick story. I was doing an interview with Hugh Hefner. And Hugh Hefner was talking about how the bunny, well, first of all, it started out, it was a stag. It was supposed to be a cartoon of a stag.
Okay, that makes
and
sense.
the night before the release, he couldn't sleep. And he got up in the middle of the night and called the designer and said, I hate the stag. You got to come up with something else. So they scrambled at all hours of the night and landed on this bunny, which then became the most iconic thing, in terms of branding.
Wow. Huge.
And he went ahead to tell me that it is probably the #1 most tattooed logo of all time.
The Playboy bunny.
I believe it.
Wow.
And so at that moment, I said, has anybody in the history of tattooing this bunny asked you for permission? And he said, no, actually, nobody's ever asked. And I said, well, then let me be the first. Is it okay with you if I get the bunny tattooed? And he said, absolutely. So I have the one and only Hugh Hefner sanctioned.
Wow.
Like, I wouldn't have gotten this otherwise. But the fact that, what do I care? I'm gonna tell you. But the fact that Hugh sanctioned it and gave me the okay, and it's the only one that exists that's like that, was pretty special.
That's awesome.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty
That's
cool.
awesome. Excellent. Dave, we're really excited. Not only that you guys are playing the show, but that you took the time to join us on the program this morning. We really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, man. I'm looking forward to being out there. And are you guys going to be at the show?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. I would not miss your guys' set. So
We'll come back and say hello, will you?
Okay, for sure. Absolutely. Thank you so
All
much,
right,
Dave.
guys.
We'll see you in September. Dave
Pleasure.
Navarro, guys. How about it? Wow. He's awesome. Super nice guy. And I bet you he could point to every single tattoo and tell a story like that as well.
What you're playing right here, I remember, Preston, when I first heard this song, I was like,
what's
whoa!
that? Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah. Hey, the Oscars were last night. How about all of that? So yeah, they had a red carpet and the full deal. The documentary feature went to My Octopus Teacher.
Yay!
It's been mentioned several times on the show, so wanted to throw that in there. Accepting was the octopus.
Wow, great.
And there was no wrap-up music. He just kept sucking and clicking and doing that whole thing for a long time. So,
93.3 WMMR.
MMR's Concert Cash. Now, here's your Concert Cash keyword.
and the word is rich. R-I-C-H. You have until 15 minutes after the hour to enter that. You can do it through the contest page at WMMR.com via the MMR app or text it to the special contest short code number, which is 45911. One random entry wins $1,000 in this company-wide contest. And all MMR winners get 2 tickets to the MM Barbecue, Saturday, September 16th. Tickets are on sale now. Winners will get a call from Beasley, so make sure that you answer your phone. Contest rules at WMMR.com. For MM Barbecue details, just text the word finally to 39333 for a link to the information. This is sponsored by Meineke, so let me give you that word again. It's rich, R-I-C-H. Enter it now or forever hold your peace.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, this morning is brought to you by Sequoia Outback. Make your deck or outside space a source of comfort and pride. Shop the Memorial Day sale at Sequoia Outback, Route 309 in Hatfield, or decksupplies.com. All right, so weird and kind of a lengthy story, but
all right.
After her husband died last year, she wrote a children's book on grief, and now she's charged with his murder.
Oh. Is that in the kids' book?
Corey? Yeah, actually, yes.
Her murdering.
No, it's not in the kids' book. So.
Okay, but it deals with death.
There's a kids' book. So.
Okay.
Corey Richens was arrested on Monday in Utah and is accused of charging documents of poisoning her husband with a legal dose of fentanyl at her home in Kamaz, a small mountain town near Park City. The victim told a friend that he thought his wife was trying to poison him at one point. Prosecutors allege that Richens called authorities in the middle of the night, in March 2022, to report that her husband Eric was cold to the touch. And the mother of 3 told officers she had made her husband a mixed vodka drink to celebrate him selling a home, and then went to soothe one of their children to sleep in the bedroom. She later returned and found her husband unresponsive and called 911. A medical examiner later found 5 times the lethal dosage of fentanyl in his system. In addition to the murder charge, she's also facing charges involving the alleged possession of GHB, a narcolepsy drug which is used in recreational settings, including in dance clubs.
Yes.
Detectives
Is
said
that Molly?
I'm not sure. No, Casey says. Detectives said they found evidence that Richens had communicated with a person who had previously been charged for possession of a controlled substance. Richens reportedly texted this person to ask for some prescription pain medication for an investor. who had a back injury, and she was later given hydrocodone pills. About 2 weeks later, she said the investor wanted something stronger and requested some of the, quote, Michael Jackson stuff.
Propofol.
But actually asked for fentanyl.
Oh.
3 days after Richins allegedly procured the fentanyl, she and her husband had a Valentine's Day dinner in which he became very ill. Eric believed this, according to he told a friend. He said Eric believed that he had been poisoned, and he thought his wife was trying to poison him. The charges come 2 months after Richins appeared on local television to promote a book called Are You With Me?, a picture book that she wrote to help children cope with the death of a loved one. And she had called her husband's death unexpected and described how it sent her and her 3 boys reeling. For children, she said, grieving was about making sure that their spirit is always alive in your home. The dedication section of the book reads, dedicated to my amazing husband and a wonderful father.
Can't wait to kill you.
She is the one who's being accused of his murder.
That is crazy.
So we'll see how this case pans out, but it's looking pretty bad for her.
We're looking at a Dateline special here, clearly.
Oh, yeah, definitely. 2 paramedics who mistakenly pronounced a Clearwater man dead back in February have been fired. Fire rescue chief.
Why did you say I was dead?
Scott Eller said the 2 medics failed their oath of office, the patient and the citizens of Clearwater. On February 15th, Phoebe Maxwell found her 66-year-old father Thomas on the floor, and Maxwell said I started CPR immediately, called my mom and 911. Or my mom called 911. And the department said the fire medics, Jacob Rivero and Sebastian Pickens, responded to the home. When the EMTs got there, she said, they told me that you could stop doing that now. And I said, no, I'm not going to. He's not dead. The chief said the call was upgraded to a cardiac arrest, which would have brought more life-saving resources. And Rivero and Pickens instead pronounced Thomas Maxwell dead.
That's
then
crazy.
notified law enforcement and went to another call.
So there's a guy there saying, no, he's not.
Yeah. The chief said Rivero and Pickens should have reassessed their initial findings. He added this was not a training or equipment issue. Despite her father making progress in his health, Maxwell said she's lived in agony since February. He said there was just no compassion, no empathy. They just didn't care. If you have a job like that, you're supposed to care.
You're a rescue worker.
Yeah. An Australian snake catcher was called out to a vacation resort to relocate a venomous snake that was sucked up into a vacuum cleaner by a panicked holidaymaker. Drew Godfrey of Harvey Bay Snake Catchers said he received a call from a couple who spotted a snake in their unit in Queensland at a resort. And the husband called back a few minutes later. He said he called back quickly saying, not to worry, my wife vacuumed it up.
Oh, my God.
He said,
Where the hell am
I explained that they are protected species and it would be cruel and illegal to leave it in there. And they understood and were happy for us to come out. Godfrey posted a video on Facebook showing him removing the snake.
How big was the snake?
A mildly venomous, yellow-faced whip snake from the vacuum cleaner's reservoir. I don't know.
Probably smaller, right?
Godfrey said yellow-faced whip snakes are often confused for the more dangerous eastern brown snakes, but he said whip snakes are only mildly venomous. A Victorian man who made headlines after being rescued from a stolen boat that was sinking off Oregon has been charged with a misdemeanor in connection with another incident. So this is kind of a follow-up. Jericho Wolf Labonte was charged with criminal mischief in the 3rd degree on Tuesday. He's also accused of leaving a dead fish on the porch of a house in Astoria, Oregon in February. That property, a landmark in the town, was featured in the 1980s film The Goonies.
Interesting.
The offense is punishable by up to 30 days in jail and fines of over $1,200. At the time, the police chief, Stacey Kelly, said, a video post online shows a man as he puts a fish on the porch.
I left you a fish.
Covered the security cameras with stickers and then danced around the property and the property next door, acting really odd.
Yeah.
2 days after the fish incident, Labonte was rescued by the Coast Guard off the coast of Oregon. Authorities received a mayday call from a yacht that was floundering in the surf. As rescue crews neared the vessel, it was struck by a 10-meter wave, causing the boat to roll over and throwing Labonte into the rough water. He was pulled to safety and flown to the base and then taken to a hospital.
Is my fish all right?
The yacht had been stolen, and police in Astoria recognized Labonte as a man from the fish video.
I remember this story as it was unfolding. Yeah.
Labonte is being tried separately for the boat incident and the fish incident. He's been charged first-degree theft, second-degree criminal mischief, and authorities have previously said that Labonte was in the U.S. illegally as well. And
There you go.
It's got some problems.
I think we can end it right there. That's the last story in your bizarre file. All right. You got roughly 5 minutes left to enter the word rich. That is our MMR Concert Cash keyword. So the word is rich. Enter that now. And if you've already done it or after you're done with that, we need to get a winner for the secret text word. So we need a number caller. Kathy, what's it going to be, boy? Yes or no?
13.
All right, call it 13. 215-263 WMMR. If you know it, then you win the prize when you call in with that keyword. And we'll give a random texter while we're breaking as well. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
It was awkward, but listen, I mean, he was the star of the films.
It is a hell of a movie if you get a chance to see it. Think of a nomad land, but with sea creatures.
They really should have put the octopus in the in memoriam section. I don't know why they didn't.
Did he die?
Well, he's an octopus. I mean, the movie came out like 2 years ago.
How long does your average octopus live?
I'll bet
the length of a documentary movie.
I'll bet they live longer than you think.
No, they don't. They live like a year.
They don't.
Really?
Yeah, watch the movie.
Oh,
Wait,
you saw it too, Kathy?
Yeah,
I saw the movie
great.
and I don't remember that shocking piece of
That's
news.
sad.
What?
Poor thing.
All right,
well,
I'm
maybe
gonna
it was
check it out.
3 to 5 years.
3 to 5
All right,
years.
see, they're already getting longer lives.
See, he can still
1 year.
He could have accepted the award.
I wouldn't have wasted time with this dickhead then if I was an octopus. I got a little living to do, baby.
All right, Yolanda Hadid
I know Yolanda.
is in love with. Thank you, Casey.
You're welcome.
In love with her daughter Gigi Hadid's daughter Kai.
So she loves her granddaughter?
She does.
Oh, my
Steve.
God.
I told
So
you.
who got the scoop on this
The
one?
news is big here this morning.
Wow.
Don't go to press yet.
Yeah.
I've got something.
She shared a tribute.
Yolanda Hadid, granddaughter.
Breaking news.
She,
Do you have a source that can confirm this? I'm not going with this unless you have corroboration.
well, they heard from an octopus that actually.
In a parking garage.
Yeah.
The octopus was in the shadows, but.
I have it on good authority that Yolanda Hadid loves her granddaughter.
Oh my God.
Will you go on record with that?
You are people who don't want this information out.
Oh my God.
He's scared, man.
I'm very scared.
And then he just walked away. That's my new favorite thing. The octopus walking away in a cavernous room with lots of reverb so you can hear it.
I can see you're an octopus. Even in shadow.
He's got a trench coat on.
He doesn't even need a trench coat. He's got like this amazing camouflage.
Listen, he's running now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Casey, he just blends in with the floor.
It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. A dove formerly owned by Prince has passed away.
Yeah. Well, you know, he was big into the doves when doves cry.
Of course. But I didn't know that he had, well, this particular dove was named Divinity.
Yeah.
Female white dove owned by Prince. She died on Tuesday following a recent decline in her health due to her age. She was 28 years old.
That is an exceptionally old dove.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a cat that lived to 22, and that seemed like an eternity for a pet lifespan.
Yes.
But listen, I know that some birds, like African grays and so on, can live for like 80 years.
Absolutely.
But
They usually outlive their owners.
But I didn't think a dove had that kind of a shelf life, for lack of a better
I bathed
term.
in the purifying waters of Lake Minnetonka. And
That must have been
what
what
I
did it.
attribute my longevity to.
Well, longevity for divinity.
Following Prince's death in 2016, Divinity remained at his Paisley Park and could be seen during the tours of his former estate.
Divinity conducted the tours.
According to the executive director of the Paisley Park tour, said Divinity's beautiful coup has welcomed visitors since Paisley Park first opened its gates to the public in October 2016. She was one of the enduring links to Prince for thousands of fans. She will be missed.
I would love to go to Paisley Park.
Me too.
I read there was a really fascinating article. Prince started writing an autobiography, and he hired a writer to help him write it. And so a year or so before he died, the writing process began, and the writer spent a lot of time in Paisley Park. And I've gained so much more of an appreciation for Prince after his death, which makes me feel guilty for some weird reason. But just everything that went into Paisley Park and his life is really amazing.
I was just watching a replay of yesterday of him at the Super Bowl when he did the halftime. It was awesome.
Yeah, and his version, along with Danny Harrison and Tom Petty of "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony years ago, is just unbelievably great.
The outside of Paisley Park looks like a
school or
you would not, you would have no idea.
What I haven't seen are pictures of the inside.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, it's like a modern Graceland. Like it's Prince through and through.
Our old boss has been to parties there, Jim McGuinn, because he's a program director in Minneapolis, and that's where it is.
That's cool.
So I would
elevator inside and all the whole deal.
So in addition to Divinity, Prince also owned a dove named Majesty, which, according to reports, were quiet. Both of them were quiet in the immediate days following his death, but they perked up after hearing his music.
I don't want to talk.
And a new generation of doves will continue to live on.
This is what it sounds like when doves cry. I'm gonna throw up.
That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds
when
like.
Doves cry.
Yeah, they were upset about Prince's death.
I swear to God, I'm gonna throw up.
Oh my God! Hey, are doves the same things as pigeons?
No.
No,
They're related.
They are related.
Yeah, they're in the same bird family.
That's what I mean.
If you look at their license, there's a delineation.
Okay.
My dad and I used to go dove hunting regularly. We used to blast those things out of the sky.
Dude, I mean, come on.
We'd eat them.
I know, but still, it's like puppy hunting. You know? It's so nice and cute and peaceful.
They're different than the gray colored
They kill
ones.
families.
Okay. Yes. They are all tatted up.
He was doing service to the families of Kentucky.
They are literally the symbol for peace, however.
Yes. I was completely eaten by a dove today. Anyone kill them for us.
Son, we got work to do.
We beat it to death with an olive branch.
I have a hair change story that
That's a cool sound effect.
After splitting from her fiance, Dale Moss, Bachelorette alum Claire Crawley is ready for love and a new pink hairdo.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
I saw it.
Yeah?
I've not seen it.
It's not over the top.
It's not crazy hot
It's
pink.
light. She says she wanted to show that she could do something crazy.
Okay.
As we observed, everything she's done shows she can do something crazy.
Oh, you're right. It's a nice pink. It's like an ombre.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. She didn't go. I was thinking like shocking. Like Katy Perry when she had super pink hair. Anyway.
Getting the tattoo of Florida on her forehead.
Did you see that guy?
I did.
Yes. He's got a tattoo of the state. I'm ready to give you a prize. What is it?
Saltine.
Saltine, yes. For Halcyon Float. That is absolutely correct. And we want to congratulate our random texter, Rob Walsh of Morristown, New Jersey. So we give him the 90-minute float and the 30-minute sauna session from Halcyon Floats. And that's spelled HALCYON floats.com. All right, we're going to give away something else via the lesson question. We have a pair of tickets to see Chris D'Elia, who is going to be performing December 2nd at the Academy of Music Kimmel Center. And the question that we're going to go with, I think it says, what is my distress call? 215-263-WMMR. It was actually played during the clips earlier this morning, but it's a distress call that you will hear. It's kind of cryptic in nature.
Yes.
But if you heard us talking about it earlier this morning,
then you know the answer. Call right now. We'll see if you get through and get the prize.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
Brought to you by PGW. Improve the comfort of your home and lower energy bills with a PGW Energy Sense rebate up to $1,400 in savings. With new home heating equipment, you can learn more at pgwenergysense.com. What's going on this morning, Steve?
Well, Mayim Bialik's sitcom Call Me Kat has been canceled after 3 seasons. Series producers issued a statement saying Call Me Kat has become more than a TV show for us and is now a tax write-off.
Oh, my God.
During an interview on the UK's The Talk, Sharon Osbourne reveals she lost 30 pounds on Ozempic, but says she had some unpleasant side effects. Sharon says she did suffer from occasional nausea, as well as a few instances during which a thick fountain of blood blew out of her ass.
Oh, wow.
Hey! And finally, rapper Doja Cat has debuted a huge tattoo of a bat skeleton across her back. Doja Cat has also begun dropping hints about the tattoo's hidden meaning, revealing she was totally hammered. That's your Hollywood Trash.
On IT, we will see. Wow, that was okay. Well,
yeah.
All right, we'll see if we can get an answer to the lesson question. What is my distress call? 215-263-WMMR. And we will go to Jeff, see if he knows the answer. Yo, Jeff.
Yo, what's up, Preston?
Jeff, we're looking for the answer. What is my distress call, please?
It is tonight at 7 o'clock.
Tonight at 7 o'clock. Yes, he did it twice. Well done, Jeff.
Tonight at 7 o'clock. Tonight at 7 o'clock.
All right, Jeff. Hang on the line, bud.
I love that it's pitched up a little bit, too.
Got yourself a pair of tickets to see Chris D'Elia, and it will be December 2nd at the Academy of Music Kimmel Center.
Tonight at 7 o'clock. Tonight at 7 o'clock.
As seen on Whitney, Comedy Central, Showtime, Netflix, and more. Tickets are on sale now via etix.com.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Hulk smash!
All right, brought to you this morning by Coors Light. You can join the Preston and Steve Show live from Keenan's in North Wildwood Friday, May 26th for the official opening of the Jersey Shore. Be there starting at 6 a.m. It's brought to you by Coors Light, made to chill down the shore. A Los Angeles judge has dismissed most of Marilyn Manson's defamation lawsuit against Evan Rachel Wood, including claims that Wood, quote, recruited, coordinated, and pressured women to make false statements about the musicians using a checklist and a script, and claims that the actor forged a letter from the FBI. The judge cited California's anti-slap statute in the ruling, a law that protects individuals' freedom of speech. Judge Teresa Baudet ruled based on the foregoing, the court does not find that plaintiff has demonstrated a probability of prevailing on his IIED, which is an infliction of emotional distress, claim based on Wood recruiting, coordinating, and pressuring multiple women to make false accusations against Warner and to be part of the film project of their film project. The case will go forward with the remaining allegations not struck down by the judge. So that part of it is over.
Yeah, we'll see how this all plays out because there are a couple of cases pending against him.
Yep. So Wood's attorney said that they are very pleased with the court's ruling, which affirms and protects Evans' exercise of her fundamental First Amendment rights, as the court correctly found plaintiff failed to show that his claim against her had even minimal merit. So it was back in 2021 that Wood accused Manson of grooming and abuse.
And he failed to prove How Can She Slap?
How Can She Slap? Imagine Dragons showed support for the striking writers in Hollywood by performing some of their biggest hits for picketeers outside of Netflix headquarters in Los Angeles on Tuesday.
So they put on like an impromptu concert.
Yep. TMZ reports lead singer Dan Reynolds and guitarist Wayne Sermon brought a couple of microphones, a speaker for the acoustic set that features songs like Radioactive and Whatever It Takes. So they just went out and entertained them a little bit. Listen to this. Dolly Parton is going to release her star-studded rock star album November 17th. And the story goes that Parton, who was feeling self-conscious after being inducted last year into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and initially asked to be taken off the ballot, accepted the honor and promised to finally record her first all-out rock collection.
It's pretty cool.
And here, so I have the people that are on it and some of the songs. I won't go through the whole track listing, but some of it. Rockstar featuring Richie Sambora. Every Breath You Take featuring Sting.
Wow.
Open Arms featuring Steve Perry.
Steve Perry joined her on Open Arms?
Yep. Magic Man featuring Ann Wilson and Howard Lees. Long As I Can See the Light featuring John Fogerty. What a great song.
Wow.
I Want You Back featuring Steven Tyler with Warren Haynes.
We Want You Back.
She's doing a cover of Purple Rain. She's also doing Baby I Love Your Way with Peter Frampton. I Hate Myself for Loving You with Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Night Moves featuring Chris Stapleton. Keep on Loving You featuring Kevin Cronin of
REO
Speedwagon. Heart of Glass featuring Debbie Harry. Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me featuring Elton John. She's doing Stairway to Heaven with Lizzo and Sasha Flute.
Wow.
Which is interesting. We Are the Champions. She's doing Bygones with Rob Halford, Nikki Sixx, and John 5.
How many songs on this?
A bunch. My Blue Tears with Simon Le Bon. What's Up with Linda Perry. You're No Good featuring Emmylou Harris and Sheryl Crow. Heartbreaker featuring Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Bittersweet with Michael McDonald. And Let It Be with Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, Peter Frampton, and Mick Fleetwood. Also, one last one, Freebird with Ronnie Van Zant, Gary Rossington, Artemis Pyle, and the Artemis Pyle.
Well, she certainly has dove in.
That's amazing.
I cannot wait to hear this.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. All right, and then one more thing. I think we have a clip of this, Casey. This was Steven Tyler, and he was talking to...
it's a little video they did with...
Black Crowes?
Yes,
Chris Robinson?
Chris Robinson. And so he, in the video, which is delightful... it's the situation is Steven Tyler's reconsidering the name of the tour.
All right, which is the Peace Out Tour. Right. All right, here we go.
Hello? Chris, Tyler here. I know you know this tour is going to be the stupidest, craziest thing ever, but I'm not so sure about Peace Out. I think we should call this tour Aerosmith and the Crows. Wings O'Plenty. Why don't we call it Wings Across America? Feathered feast for the 10-headed beast. Come on, you know you like that. The crows may crow, but the hens deliver the goods. Brothers in arms. Well, brothers in arguments. Arrow, Swiss, family, Robinson. I need to hear you come up with a few. There's a writer's strike. You expect me to come up with all these on my own?
Nice. So they're just playing around with it. Was
Kinda
Chris
cool.
even in that video?
He is. Yeah.
Okay. The Peace Out Tour is what it's going to be, and that's all there is
It's going to be a tough ticket. A
Yeah.
lot of demand for this.
Yeah, most definitely.
And it opens in Philly.
Yes, it does.
First date is here.
Yeah, that's exciting. All right, and that's the last item in music news. We're going to take a break. We'll come back in a second. We'll wrap up the show. We'll get the letter of the day for the Word of the Week prize, and then we'll turn it over to one and only Mr. Pierre Robert. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Spent with Dale as something of her past and is ready to move forward.
Can help me to learn about myself.
So she has pink hair now.
Okay, the ombre's good. I kind of prefer the Ganon, bro.
What's the Ganon?
Come on.
bro.
Keep going. Do it. Finish it.
I'm not finishing
Come on.
It's Ganon, bro. I like the up dog. Personally.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Here's the tattoo of the Florida, by the way.
That looks good.
I
Man,
love it.
what is going on?
I know. We have a monitor that's normally in front of us. It doesn't work, and I can't see the photos when they come up. But yes, that's just brilliant. Best performance by an actress in a motion picture drama went to Andra Day for The United States versus Billie Holiday. And overall best motion picture drama went to Nomadland. So... there you go. That's our first foray into a very strange awards year.
It was. You know what was one of the weirder things, Preston? At certain points when they were going into a commercial and they had the nominees, they'd put the nominees up and they'd bring up their microphones so that they could sort of like talk and like. And there was, did you see Case? I don't know, because there was a point where Pacino was up for something and they were all, "Hi, Mr. Pacino, I'm a big fan of yours." And there's this cross talk that's not. No one was overseeing it. It was just like you were listening in on a Zoom call.
Wait, so the crosstalk was between the fellow nominees?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So they did that a couple times. If they ever do this again, they should not do that again.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, right?
It's very weird. And I'm like, is something supposed to be happening?
What was great, though, is when Soul won for best, I think it was best animated, who do you call it? Tracy Morgan pronounced it as Saul. right? He goes, and the winner is, and he goes, Saw. And then there was no reaction because there was no movie called Saw.
Right.
And then he realized that he had made the mistake, and then they had cut to the it was for best original song. But either way, the actors, it was Sudeikis, it was the people that were up for the next award.
Right.
They were having a ball with it. They were cracking up. Don Cheadle was making fun of them, and it was really, really.
I think Pacino didn't realize that he was still on the Zoom call because he was standing in the doorway pleasuring himself.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh no, you
How
don't do
awkward
that.
is
It feels so good.
Right.
Well, I didn't see that clip, but I did see. I saw a clip.
I'm gonna shout!
Oh my God! Splat.
All over my walls and when my children play with their toys. You were expecting something like that. There were a few people who clearly were not quite up to speed on the tech.
I'm gonna shoot over here.
That was good.
Oh man!
Right after that.
Yes. Sorry, Nick.
No. This is also comedic. He fell asleep.
What?
Did he?
Yeah.
Was he asleep on camera, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, don't you usually fall asleep right afterwards?
Everybody's sleepy, you know, and you've expanded yourself. So the camera pans across his screen, and listen, his eyes are closed, and he looks like he might have not actually have been asleep, but he looked like he was sleepy.
There was so much fun pleasuring myself.
Oh no, the poor guy. Getting old.
I don't feel so good.
That's hilarious.
I'm up and out.
So, according to a new survey presented by the Water Quality and Health Council, 51% of Americans reported using a swimming pool as a communal bathtub, using the pool as an alternative to showering or rinsing off after engaging in exercise or yard work or whatever it may be. Even though 64% of Americans know that pool chemicals don't eliminate the need to shower, people continue to do it anyway. By the way, the survey comes as experts from the council, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and, which I didn't know existed, the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance.
Oh, that's great. That's what Darth Vader faces off in the second movie.
Work to educate the public on healthy and safe swimming.
We shall crush the Pool Alliance.
Yes, my name is Mortimer Sanchez, and I'm with the Pool Alliance. And we think you're a bad leader.
The survey also revealed.
I don't care.
The survey also revealed that 24% of Americans would go into a pool within 1 hour of having diarrhea.
See, that's now listen.
Yes.
That's why public pools are just not my thing.
Spend all
However,
day on the toilet. You know what I need to do? I need to take a swim.
get some of that residual out.
To check the chlorine and pH levels for a personal public pool, the council is offering free pool test kits through its 15th annual Healthy Pools campaign on its website.
This is the Alliance.
This is the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance.
Did you mention in this story, Preston, particular sunblocks affecting?
I didn't mention this.
Okay.
Go into the pool now.
Peter Cushing.
Moff Tarkin.
This is the finest pool you'll ever swim in.
What were you saying, Nick? Sunscreens?
Yeah, the reason that I bring it up is that I went on a snorkel, not a scuba,
Snookle's
or a
good,
snorkel, but a snorkel.
It's the latest craze that's sweeping the beaches of America. Snorkeling.
Get some Beach Boys.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be
Going
great.
outside, hanging tan, snookling all day long.
Surfing USA, please.
Oh, sorry.
I know what the snookle is, if I may suggest.
At the snorkel.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Snorkel USA.
Like California.
I'm such an idiot.
All right, anyhow.
Snorkeling.
Oh, yeah.
I went snorkeling, and you weren't allowed to wear.
Feel of a snorkel. Chocolate Dawn.
You weren't allowed to wear the sunblock that you brought. You had to use the sunblock that they provided for you, and it's because the sunblock that most people wear is pretty damaging to the reef. And I was wondering if it would be damaging at all to like a pool filter or to the saltwater.
These are all good questions.
Whatever,
because some of the chemicals are pretty arch and can have that effect.
Yeah, and I've been snorkeling many times in my life, but this is the first time ever on a snorkel trip where I had to do this, and you weren't allowed to wear what you had, what you brought.
They provided.
They provided it for
you. Do you
me,
remember what it was? What type it was?
I don't. It was like an industrial vat of
It was called Reef Killer.
Yeah.
Reef Killer sunblock. A snorkel, by the way, as you're snorkeling, has a second tube that goes up back onto the beach so that someone could load M&Ms into them so that you can eat.
You're hungry.
So that's what a snorkel
is? Right, a snorkel is a second food tube.
Okay.
So that you can swim longer.
Everybody wins.
That's great. They do have snuba. Snuba is legit.
I've heard of that, yeah.
Snuba.
Apparently snorkel is legit as well.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm serious.
If you can swim, you can snorkel. Yeah, he's absolutely right. Snorkel offers shallow dives.
Approximately 10 to 40 feet without cumbersome tanks and no diving certification necessary. That looks like snuba.
It does.
So what
hose,
what
right?
they do is, they have a floating tank that stays above the water, and you basically take the regulator down, and it's a long tube, a long hose that you can breathe in. We're getting ready to get recertified or to go into a refresher course for scuba to get set for our vacation. So I'm looking forward to it. But I'll ask about snorkel.
Yeah.
Zombie raccoons. That's my thing.
Yes.
That clumsily walk on two legs and show their teeth are staggering around suburban Chicago, and authorities are warning locals to hide their pets. A spike in raccoons testing positive for distemper in Riverside, Illinois, is to blame for the bizarre sightings of contaminated animals that the disease causes to appear zombie-like. While zombie raccoons don't eat brains, distemper is highly contagious. If you're feeding wildlife and that raccoon ate out of your bowl or cat food for your stray cats and your puppy goes over, the saliva can be contagious.
They sent in a Negan raccoon to take care of everything.
Well, oh, well, oh, well. Looks like we got ourselves a problem in Chi-Town. Leaning back high. Looks like we got some trouble. Some trouble in Chi-Town. Going deep dish on this bitch.
It's got a little leather
But no saddiest.
Yeah, we're inching up on that. Today has been a very fun show, and I would like to thank all those involved. A couple of guests we had on the program. Henry Winkler was on to talk about the show Barry, and it's coming to a close. Sundays, it's the final season. Sundays, 10 p.m. on HBO and streaming on HBO Max. So very cool to talk to him. By the way, when is HBO Max turning to just Max?
Next this month, May.
It's called. It's going to be called Max,
Just
right?
yeah, they're changing their logo, the whole nine.
Crap. I watch so many shows on that now.
I know. Me
The
too.
majority of my shows are watched on HBO Max.
So
and there's going to be even more because they're partnering with, or they're taking over other groups or whatever it is. But anyway.
I'm just sure that whatever it is, I'm paying $300 more than I need to be.
Yeah.
And thank you to Emilio Estevez.
Hey!
His movie is called The Way. It's re-released. Came out 13 years ago. And it's become a kind of an underground success. And they're going to give it the full in theaters treatment May 16th. Participating theaters and tickets at fathomevents.com. So it was cool to talk to him. He's a nice guy. Pierre Robert is here.
Didn't you have Martin Sheen in to talk about that movie?
And Emilio together,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty special.
Yeah, that
Having
was
the
really
two
cool.
of them in this room, where I sit right now, not worthy of sitting in the same seat that Martin Sheen sat in, but there it is.
There it is.
Well, you're sitting in the Emilio seat, so you're
okay. All right.
Yeah.
I feel better. Is there a Charlie Sheen seat?
No.
Okay.
By the way, the Discovery Plus and HBO Max merger thing, that's going to be on May 23rd.
So I'm on Discovery Plus a fair amount. I'm on Paramount a fair amount. There's Hulu. I have an HBO Max. You sort of you vacillate in and out of these various services.
Does that mean I'll get like the Discovery ID thingy?
Yeah, you should.
Ooh,
yes.
Okay.
And there's some good stuff on it.
I had to. It seems like you have to join a new network for every new show you want to watch.
Yeah. Not only that, there's sometimes within the same show where you have to join a different network to watch the next 10 minutes. So that's
how bad it's gotten.
When it's all said and done and the dust is settled, I'm going to examine exactly what I have and what I need to have and what I'm replicating.
I have Paramount to see Star Trek.
Yes.
I had to get Disney to see Star Wars.
Right.
I've got Netflix, and I've got Amazon.
Okay.
To see some of my detective shows, but now I can't make it work, and it's telling me I have to join again.
Oh,
and I'm already a member.
Well, your Prime membership should renew automatically, and that's how you get your Prime.
But I know what you're saying. Sometimes if you go on a streaming app and it will say, log in, or it won't even say log in. It'll say sign up.
Right.
You're like,
that's what it said.
Don't sign up.
Yeah.
I'm already have an account. I've had that happen with some before, and then you have to dig around in some of the menus before you find the actual login, which should be right on the open.
It's a scam.
But Apple has that issue. I've had that issue with them before.
Do I have to sign up again?
Just log in.
No, you need to
But
log
I
in, but
can't
sometimes
log
you
in.
can't find it.
It won't let me log
You
in.
got to dig around a little bit.
Okay.
I'll
Type
come over
in
and help
sign
you out.
my ass.
I'll borrow your shovel to start digging.
to start digging.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, we're going to dig into your mind for a letter.
There's trouble.
Yeah.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
All right, the Preston and Steve show is brought to you today by The Letter.
Oh, as in operator.
All right, we're going to give away on Friday 4-pack VIP tickets for the 2023 Ardmore Outdoor Spring Beer Festival this Saturday, May 13th at Shuffle Plaza. VIP tickets include an hour pre-fest indoors at Ardmore Music Hall hosted by Pierre Robert and ticket giveaways for the Hooters sold-out show that weekend. The GA portion of the day is 1 to 4 p.m., live music and 50-plus craft brews, 21 to drink, all ages to hang. Tickets are on sale now, and you can text BeerFest to 39333, and we will send you a link to all of the information that's out there.
That's all this weekend, by the way.
Yeah,
Yes.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Cool.
Beautiful day. What's going on the show today?
Well, 3 more opportunities over the course of this day for concert cash and Emma Barbecue tickets. Noon is the first, 3 will be the next one, and 5 o'clock this afternoon. Also, we will have Bruce tickets to give away, which is very special. We've got Cool Workforce Block, Shinedown Bush, and for Paul Hewson's birthday, we're going to do a block of the Paul Hewson Band.
The Paul Hewson Band.
Yeah. So some people call them U2.
Yes, yes. All right, should be solid. Let me thank our sponsors. Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by Duncan. The Preston and Steve Show runs on Duncan. And also brought to you by Meineke. For tires, brakes, batteries, exhaust systems, and more. Meineke doing car care right. Tomorrow on the program, I'm not going to tell you.
No.
Nope, you just tune in and
Dirty Dog.
find out what happens. But don't forget that tonight at 7 o'clock. That's it. We're done. Rage on. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, gang. Bye-bye.